traffic on the Rhine right now is not affected. Northwest side, Kedzie is blocked between Eastwood and Leland for CTA track work till 6 this morning. Elsewhere, things are mostly quiet. Palatine, Quentin Road, and Baldwin Road have reopened after a freight train was moved that had been stuck there. Ridge Road is open in Plainfield again after it had been blocked between Wheeler Road and Lockport Road. There's some morning work on the southbound tri-state, half day to Sanders. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our morning meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Sun and clouds today, high 52. It'll be cloudy tonight, low 34. Clouds and breezy, some rain tomorrow afternoon, high 46. Clouds and strong winds on Wednesday, the high Wednesday 45. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
37 at O'Hare, 41 Lakefront, 38 Midway, 32 Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Pat, I need copies of your engineering blueprints for the new tenants on floor 15.
We have the specs right here. Their business operates in a sensitive environment. We're going to have HVAC issues.
This is definitely a challenge. We'd better get Hayward HVAC involved now.
HVAC needs will vary by business, and some can be extremely challenging. Hayward HVAC Company will eliminate your headaches and bring over 100 years of expert results to your building. They don't just deal with ventilation, they fabricate in-house. Hayward designs solutions. They solve problems. When Hayward HVAC Company is on the job, you can trust it'll be done right. How else do you last for over 100 years? Call Hayward HVAC Company at 847-671-0400 or visit haywardhvac.com. That's 847-671-0400. Hayward HVAC, a tradition of trust since 1915. This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the billionaire who ran the successful business, so he thinks he can run your lives, got in the race formally yesterday. We've been talking about him for the last week or so. Michael Bloomberg's intro video, Rate It.
Mike Bloomberg started as a middle-class kid who had to work his way through college, then built a business from a single room to a global entity, creating tens of thousands of good-paying jobs along the way. He could have stopped there. But when New York suffered the terrible tragedy of 9/11, he took charge, becoming a 3-term mayor who brought a city back from the ashes and brought back jobs and hope with it, creating tens of thousands of affordable housing units so families could have a decent place to live, raising teachers' salaries and kids' graduation rates, and creating a more open and livable city for the millions who call it home. He could have stopped there. But when he witnessed the terrible toll of gun violence, he put his money where his heart is, helping to create a movement to take on the NRA and the politicians they own, to protect families across this country and help turn the tide. And he's funded college educations for thousands of deserving low-income and middle-class kids, and supported life-saving medical research, and stood up to the coal lobby and the outright denial of this administration to protect the only home we have from the growing menace of climate change. But now he sees a different kind of menace coming from Washington. So there's no stopping here, because there's an America waiting to be rebuilt, where everyone without health insurance is guaranteed to get it, and everyone who likes theirs can go ahead and keep it, where the wealthy will pay more in taxes, and the struggling middle class will get their fair share. And jobs that just allow you to get by will become jobs that let you get ahead. Mike Bloomberg for president. Jobs creator, leader, problem solver. It's going to take all three to build back a country.
What do you think? Are you worried about the prospect of a Trump versus Bloomberg were he to catch fire, or are you ready to tell
Mike Bloomberg that you can have my big gulp when you pry it from my cold, dead hand. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, his record on criminal justice really could prove as an impediment for minority voters because remember, he just apologized. He was on The View. He said he's sorry for the stop and frisk policy. And also, he's not going to take any money from donors. So I don't even know if it's going to be possible for him to make the debate stage without taking any money from donors. Do you?
He's not going to take any. Well,
no, he's not. That's what he said. He's funding this himself, Dan. He's throwing in $37 million this week on campaign ads.
No, I understand money's not the problem for him, right? But I think the qualifications to make the debate stage are a certain percentage in a certain number of polls or a certain number of donors. Is it and?
I thought it was and.
Well, maybe and, but the bottom line is he blankets the airwaves with these ads, and then you go give him $2 online, and that you're a donor.
Well, yeah.
So it's a volume. It's not the volume of cash, and obviously cash is not his problem.
You know who's not happy? The other Democratic candidates. Here's Klobuchar.
My staff just told me that Mayor Bloomberg's going to put millions of dollars in ads. So am I tomorrow. No, I'm not.
She's trying to be funny. See that?
She can keep trying. You know who is happy about it? Fred Armisen, because he's back on Saturday Night Live.
Did somebody say billionaire?
No, Mayor Bloomberg, how did you get in here?
Well, I tipped the doorman $30 million.
Does this mean you're officially running for president?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'd be hard to beat. I'd love to see those Trump supporters come up with a conspiracy theory about a Jewish billionaire with his own media company. Good luck making that stick.
Do you think you can get the funding to stay in this race?
I know I can. I got $17,000 from ex-boyfriends. All I had to do was threaten to come back in their lives.
That's Amy Klobuchar actually being funny when she's played by Rachel Dratch.
Yeah.
So there you go. I like bringing Armisen and Rachel Dratch back, so Saturday Night Live, at least a skit or two will be tolerable.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Bob and Waukegan, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, where you begin your daily inoculation from indoctrination.
Yes.
I think we should. I think we should call Mr. Bloomberg the soda jerk. He took away the sodas. He took away salt. He wants to take away your guns, but he wants to jerk away your sodas. He wants to jerk away your guns. He wants to jerk away your salt, and he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. So I think soda jerk is probably the best name to give him for the campaign trail.
I like it, actually. I like that. Very good. All right, Bob, we're giving you credit for that one. Nicely done. Thanks.
You know
for the
who's
call.
supporting him? Chuck Schumer. And that has some people. Their panties in a bunch.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That
endorsement's going to send him straight to the White House, Dan.
It's going to deliver New York for him. I also like, Bob, thank you, daily inoculation from indoctrination. Oh, I like that. Certain rhythm to it. Levi, you're from Goose Island. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, what's funny is when Trump started running for president, everyone was just like, oh, you're not a politician. You shouldn't be running for office. You're not a politician. And granted, Bloomberg was mayor of New York, but before, at the end of the day, he's really just another billionaire, just like Donald Trump. So where's the double standard there again? I'm just curious to see how the media is going to play with that one. Obviously, the media doesn't care about anything, so it's just going to be funny to watch that play out.
Well, it's just,
Thanks for the call.
He's buying the election, and that's what Bernie Sanders said.
Mr. Bloomberg, to the best of my knowledge, has very little grassroots support. Democracy means that billionaires cannot buy elections.
Mm-hmm.
No, they can't.
Well, they don't. Well, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren don't want billionaires to exist. They don't believe anybody should be allowed to be a billionaire. But here's the thing. Tom Steyer's in the race. He's got a lot of money. He's not going anywhere in particular.
Played by Will Ferrell, by the way.
Yeah. So
and he did an amazing job.
Another veteran of SNL comes back to fill the stage. There's so many candidates. You need to bring back all the stars of yesteryear.
Hi, guys. I'm billionaire Tom Steyer, and I'm running for president for a simple reason. It's fun, and it gets me out of the house.
I'm sorry, Mr. Steyer. My producers are telling me you have to blink.
I have to do what?
Blink. You have to blink at some point.
Oh, no, I do not. And I will not.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the best was Maya Rudolph as Kamala Harris. I mean, really, she nailed her. Don't you think?
Well, yeah. Oh, we're gonna finish these off. All right. Yes. Okay. The funt is back. The funt.
The funt is back, baby. America's fun aunt.
Oh, right.
I'm also America's cool aunt. You know what? Let's not do that. Tonight, I'm not going to worry about the polling numbers. I'm just going to have fun and see if I can get some viral moments. Mama needs a GIF. Gonna tell my kids this was Michelle Obama.
It's hysterical. Maya Rudolph is hysterical. So you got. This is great. If there's one thing, one positive thing from having to endure all these socialists running for president, is that you get the actual funny people who used to be on Saturday Night Live back. Armisen, Rudolph, Farrell, even Rachel Dratch. I'll throw her in. It's pretty good.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Hey, we have an exclusive offer for our listeners just in time for the holidays. If you buy a set of Giza cotton sheets from MyPillow, you'll get the second set free, 2 for 1. And not only that, but you'll get free shipping. And if you add anything else to your order, like MyPillows, a mattress topper, those new towels that they have that are very absorbent and soft, anything, those items will ship free too. And you can get a deep discount on all the products, but you have to use the promo code Amy. I love my Giza cotton sheets. I sleep better at night. And I love MyPillow. I can't sleep without it. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials box, and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of one. I wish I would have waited for this offer. Plus, you'll get free shipping. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350-350. That's TOP to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, just a couple days away from Thanksgiving. You undoubtedly have a lot to be thankful for, living in the greatest country the world has ever known, but a lot of people around the world not so fortunate, like those refugees from Venezuela who have fled to Colombia to escape Maduroism. It's more than 4 million refugees from Venezuela to Colombia. And we are partnering again this holiday season with Food for the Poor, Our goal is to provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families living in Colombia. And we do that through Food for the Poor because they have the infrastructure that they've built around the world, and particularly in Latin America. And they have 11 feeding centers in Colombia that feed 9,000 people a day.
Yeah, they go to where the need is, and they're really efficient. I met them. I went to their feeding center and their headquarters in Haiti, and I was very impressed because 95% of everything that is donated goes straight to the people in need.
So they have the infrastructure, they have the boots on the ground, they have the logistics set up. What we need to help them with is basically fueling the engine that they've built, and that's where you come in. One way to help us reach our goal of, again, 600 Venezuelan families, providing them food for a year, is by calling 844-862-4673. That's 844-862-4673, 844-862-HOPE. Again, a gift of just $300 or $25 a month for 1 year will feed a Venezuelan family of 4 in Colombia for a year. And this is becoming increasingly important because, the borders in some of these countries in South America are closing for Venezuelans fleeing because they have a refugee crisis in places like Colombia that's overwhelming that government in particular, and other governments in South America.
So another way you can help out is become a business benefactor. And what that is if you own a business or make the marketing decisions for a company, this is the best radio advertising deal in the Chicagoland area. A one-time tax-deductible donation of $2,500. As a way of saying thank you, we will give you 40 one-minute commercials that will air right here Monday through Friday. Dan could voice your commercials. I can. You can voice them yourself. But it's really a great way to elevate your business and take it to the next level. To become a business benefactor, call Ann Jeanette. She's our sales manager. The number is 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. This program always sells out, and it really, think of Tom Sedeka from Precision Payroll or Turnkey IT. Both of those started out as business benefactors, and they're still advertising with us today. Or visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food. Again, 560theanswer.com, keyword food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The climate change kids in the Ivy League interrupt the Harvard-Yale football game at 5:38.
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
37 degrees. Skies are fair at 5:29. Defense Secretary Mark Esper is firing the Secretary of the Navy over a controversy involving a Navy SEAL. Esper ordered Richard Spencer to resign over the weekend after learning Spencer reached out to the White House with a proposal that would have allowed Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher to retire with his SEAL Trident pin. The Navy had announced plans to review Gallagher's SEAL status after he was convicted of posing for a photo with a corpse. There are reports this morning thieves made off with possibly more than $1 billion worth of treasure in a nighttime daring burglary of a German museum. Our reporter John Klein is in Berlin.
The Green Vault in Dresden houses one of Europe's largest collections dating back to the Baroque period. The thieves reportedly switched off electricity to the museum before stealing priceless jewelry and gemstones. The bandits possibly escaped in a limousine. John Klein, NBC News Radio.
Michael Bloomberg's news company says they will stay away from investigating any of the Democrat presidential hopefuls now that the former New York City mayor is in the race. In a memo to staff, the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News says the organization will, however, continue to investigate the Trump administration. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway says as a 2020 candidate, the former New York City mayor, will promise something that's already failed.
All unicorns and rainbows. Keep your health care if you'd like to, and if you don't, I've got something better for you. We heard that from Obama-Biden, and Obama-Biden care passed almost 10 years ago, and as we sit here today, over 28 million Americans have no health insurance of any kind.
New York Times says Bloomberg spent at least $30 million on Friday, reserving television ad time in about 100 media markets. London's transport regulator is revoking Uber's license to operate, citing a pattern of failures that puts the passenger safety and security at risk, the transport regulators believe. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is resting at home after spending part of the weekend in the hospital. The last person who knew what it was like to carve Mount Rushmore has died. Television in South Dakota reporting Nick Clifford died over the weekend. He was 98. Here in Chicago, a person of interest is in custody in the death of a University of Illinois at Chicago student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. A woman is dead after falling inside Water Tower Place. The 65-year-old fell last night from the 7th floor of the shopping mall on North Michigan Avenue. A Chicago woman is accused in a plot to kill her ex-girlfriend's new romantic interest. It's now being held without bail. Assistant State's Attorney Jack Costello says Lizette Ortiz tried to hire an undercover Chicago police officer to kidnap and kill a woman that she blamed for ending her relationship with her ex.
Defendant told the undercover that her plan, after the undercover kidnapped and delivered the victim to her, was to put the victim into a car while tied up and then set the car on fire in a remote location.
Reports say the ex-girlfriend is a veteran Chicago police officer who was assigned to Mayor Lori Lightfoot's security detail. Mitchell Trubisky threw for a score, ran for another. Bears beat the Giants 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls host the Trailblazers tonight. College basketball, Bradley meets Northwestern tonight. Northern Illinois hosts Oakland. Loyola takes on South Florida. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity predicts a disaster from the impeachment hearings.
The corrupt, do-nothing, modern, extreme, radical, socialist, democratic impeachment fanatics. This is turning out to be worse than, I have no idea what Fusion GPS is, Mueller. I mean, it's that bad today.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I'm too young for hair loss.
My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I've got this bald spot.
It's thinning everywhere.
I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back, permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs to anyone who texts KEY to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KEY to 85850. That's KEY to 85850.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can
Call Crumweedy.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies. And the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. And many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy,
Call Crumweedy.
That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
5:36 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway, we are seeing delays right now from around 154th Street to 130th. It's due to a crash blocking the left lane. Travel time is 32 minutes from 8094th Ryan. Outbound 5 at 15. I-57 looks good at 15 minutes from I-80 to Merge. Inbound Ryan traffic starting to get a little bit congested approaching downtown Chicago. Stevenson has mild slowdowns. Inbound Central to Pulaski and Demon to the Ryan. We're looking at 36 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 5 to 34. The other expressways and tollways are looking pretty good right now. There is on the south side a crash on Cermak near Damon. That's traffic. I'm Jim Calamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center, clouds and sun, 52 today, turning cloudy, 34 overnight, 37 officially at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Cause they got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, Campus Beat takes us to New Haven, Connecticut, where Yale and Harvard got together for their annual football game. And
are those Division I schools?
And normally, this is a game that barely anybody takes notice of, right? Because it's not relevant really in the college football scene. But this time, the Harvard-Yale game made national news, not because it was a scintillating overtime thriller, but because you had 150 Harvard and Yale undergrads, and I assume some grads, and probably most of the professorate, I don't know, but 150 people stormed the field and interrupted the game for close to an hour, protesting climate change with the banner, "Nobody wins. Yale and Harvard are complicit in climate injustice."
And students are calling for both schools to divest their endowments from fossil fuel holdings.
Mm-hmm.
So they had demands, Dan. They didn't just stop the game. They had a purpose.
Oh, no, I know what their purpose was, and it has nothing to do with what you just said. The purpose, of course, was we're here to applaud ourselves, and we'd like you to applaud right along with us. That's the purpose. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Didn't we have this conversation last week with
We sure did.
With Rob Henderson about luxury beliefs, the conspicuous consumption of the affluent? Now you have the conspicuous conviction that's replaced conspicuous consumption. Now you have the conspicuous conviction from the spawn of the affluent at Yale and Harvard. They don't care if Harvard or Yale divest from fossil fuels, and they don't care if you give up your SUV or private plane. They do not care. They are there to be applauded as they applaud themselves. Conspicuous conviction. And by the way, I'm sorry, who exactly are they protesting? Who's in charge of Yale and Harvard? Bill Buckley isn't. He's by the boards. He's not around in New Haven. So who is it? You're protesting the leftist professors who indoctrinated you, your fellow travelers? You're protesting the wealthy donors that underwrite those leftist professors? This is just Frankenstein turning on his creators, isn't it?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. I know Harvard was winning 15-3 before these thugs, that's what I call them, they're thugs, decided to sit in and stall the game.
Yeah, for those of you who had Yale -6, you covered. They won 50-43 in overtime. So everybody's waiting for that score.
Well, thank goodness, Dan.
I was hoping, actually, I went to the Northwestern Minnesota game on Saturday.
How was that?
I was actually rooting for protesters to interrupt that game, so I didn't have to watch it anymore.
What was the score in that game?
Minnesota a lot, and Northwestern not
Listen.
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, blowout as per usual. Can we stop the Pat Fitzgerald hero worship? Is that over now?
Wait, didn't they erect a statue for him outside the stadium?
Not quite yet. I think they've put that on the on ice for now. A related story from the Yale Daily News. Yes, I'm a subscriber. This is really interesting. Think about what is prompting this. Yale has created a committee to encourage free discourse, because that's what you need to encourage free discourse, is a committee to manage it. The Yale College Committee for Cultivating Conversation Across Differences. The YSAD. The YSAD. Yale College Committee for Cultivating Conversation Across Differences. That inspires me to a belief in Yale's commitment to free speech on campus. That's not too Orwellian sounding. The committee's focus is on the goals of belonging to Yale to foster a campus climate, Yale values, like Chicago values. Foster a campus climate and culture where people of different backgrounds and identities with diverse perspectives and interests can flourish. Yeah. That's high-minded. Sounds like fun. Why do you think they're doing this? But I mean, the juxtaposition of what happened over the weekend and then the announcement last week of this committee is really interesting. But why do you think they formed this committee? Because they want to? Because there's been some change in the composition of the academics or the administrators at Yale? No, of course not. So there's pressure coming from somewhere. Maybe there's been, one too many embarrassments such that Yale feels like they have to at least put some window dressing on campus life. Here's a poignant comment from one professor there, an English professor. They still have those at Yale. It's a bit surprising. He said, Yale has put zero premium on viewpoint diversity in hiring or in admitting students. So having created a monolithically liberal campus, it's going to be pretty tough to get people to openly practice dissent. Right. It's tough to get people to practice dissent, except as actors, because you've eliminated the dissenters. Is Professor Oppenheimer's point. It's a good one. But I just, the point of the need, Yale feeling the need to do this, I think is really interesting. So maybe that is a little flicker of hope for the Ivy League, and I'd say just a flicker, because they're not doing it of their own sort of commitment to the campus as a free marketplace of ideas. This is a response to pressure coming from somewhere, and the only somewhere that matters, donors, alumni. In other football news, Dominic in Palos Park.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just want to let you know, St. Rita won.
Yes, St. Rita.
42-21.
And they're going to play Yale? Or what?
Are we going to protest during the game?
42-21.
We don't waste our time with that liberals. We're good Catholic conservatives.
Who are you guys going
Very
up against in the state finals?
It's not a CPS school. We know that.
It's a good Catholic school. We're going all the way.
No, who are you playing?
It doesn't matter to Dominic.
Wow.
He's from the John Wooden School. It doesn't matter what the other team does or who even the other team is. It just matters who we are and what we do.
And when I start dropping my G's, who are you playing? Who are you playing? I'm doing a runner.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350350. That's TOP to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson to talk about my incredible experience with Online Trading Academy. I signed up for my own free class, and you can too. You'll be introduced to skills to take control of your financial future. You'll learn the right moves to make when the economy turns and how to spend less time worrying about life and more time living it. You know, no one else will ever care about your financial future as much as you do. It's time for you to start learning how to invest in you. Seats are limited. Just call 844-778-7132 to attend and get 2 free passes to their next class so you can check this all out. And if you call right now, they will send you home with their Professionals Insider Kit. It's loaded with exclusive investing courses and some of their best lessons from the pros. This is a limited opportunity and seats go quickly, so call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132, or visit them online at otaclass.com, otaclass.com.
Transferring paper files to digital used to be complicated and expensive. Data and document capture had many IT layers involved. It was expensive, time-consuming, and labor-intensive. Not anymore, thanks to the Alaris Infuse Smart Connected Scanning Solution from Kodak Alaris and IDT. The Alaris Infuse solution makes data and document capture easy, and it's powered by Capsys Capture Online. Within a matter of minutes, you'll be able to accurately and reliably onboard content with instant notification of data issues, making the entire capture process smarter and more efficient. IDT can show you how to onboard content and make point-of-origin capture simple with the Alaris Infuse solution.
Relieve the burden of managing and maintaining business systems with IDT, helping your business keep pace with the evolution of information production and management. Set up a consultation today. Visit ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com, or call 877-SCAN-IDT. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Are you looking for the perfect gift? I hope you'll check out Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville. I love these guys. Mike Gallagher here at Roland's. Not only do they care about making America great again, they also care about making your holiday moments memorable. You know, buying jewelry is about trust. Roland's is the go-to place. You're going to see why when you visit RolandsJewelers.com or head to downtown Libertyville to work with them in person. It's no hassle. They'll show you pieces from the top designers, Simon G. with beautiful pendants. The Hearts on Fire diamond earrings are a great choice. Italian designer Roberto Coin's collection is gorgeous. Ken over at Roland's is offering up to $500 for AM 560 The Answer listeners. Not just for jewelry, but luxury timepieces, like the watch I wear from Roland's, Shinola, or Longines, or Tag Heuer. Your choice. Roland's Jewelers makes your gift giving easy. RolandsJewelers.com. Let them help you in store in downtown Libertyville. Roland's Jewelers is a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Veteran-owned and family-run Hogan Tech Inc. is an industry leader in the cell tower industry. And right now, Hogan Tech has openings in northern Illinois and Wisconsin for cell tower technicians, including foremen, top hands, and journeymen. Qualified candidates could earn 6 figures plus 5-figure year-end bonus. And a benefits package that includes 401k, health insurance options, and a Monday through Friday work week with overtime and generous per diems. Hogan Tech believes in a work-life balance and that employees should be home with family on the weekends. If you, a family member, or friend qualify, Hogan Tech would like to talk to you about joining their quality group of employees. There are multiple positions available and plenty of work through 2020 and beyond. Visit HoganTech.com for information or to apply. That's HOGANTEC.com. Veterans looking for a career encouraged to apply. HoganTech.com. HOGANTEC.com. Focused on employees, safety, training, quality, and satisfied customers for nearly a quarter of a century.
AM 560, The Answer.
Sports and politics and sports and politics and sports and politics and intersection. Arrogance and ignorance, arrogance, ignorance, and arrogance and ignorance. Intersection.
Yeah, arrogance and ignorance, the intersection, politics and sports. Well, that certainly top of mind would be Colin Kaepernick.
Did he get picked up by the Bears?
No teams have expressed any interest
poor
in him since he did his little workout at that high school in Riverdale, Georgia, a week ago. Unemployed and unemployable. And this was the subject of a Ta-Nehisi Coates piece in the New York Times. Ta-Nehisi Coates is sort of this, for those of you not familiar, is this sort of this celebrated black power, I would say, author. He used to write for The Atlantic. He was awarded one of the MacArthur Genius prizes. He is not a genius. He's just a 21st century of Jesse Jackson Sr. he's a flim-flammer. Dressed up in talented writing, where Jesse Jackson Sr. had a talent for speaking. Ta-Nehisi Coates has a talent for writing. But in terms of the sum and substance, it's the same hustle. The same hustle. Ta-Nehisi Coates writing the New York Times, the cancellation of Colin Kaepernick. The cancellation. Colin Kaepernick, writes Ta-Nehisi Coates, is the victim, as everybody who is a person of color in the Ta-Nehisi Coates narrative is, and forever will be because of America's original sin of slavery. So you have to read everything that Ta-Nehisi Coates writes through that lens. Kaepernick is a victim, quote, of a multi-billion-dollar monopoly denying a worker the right to ply his trade and lying about doing so. Mr. Kaepernick is not fighting for a job. Oh, no, it's much bigger. He is fighting against cancellation. He's a victim of the cancel culture.
Yeah. Forgot.
His struggle is not merely his own. It's the struggle of Major Taylor, Jack Johnson, Craig Hodges, Muhammad Ali. Jack Johnson and Muhammad Ali and Colin Kaepernick in the same sentence. Wow. Wow.
Craig Hodges.
This isn't a fight for employment at any cost. It's a fight for a world where we are not shot or shunned because the masters of capital or their agents do not like our comportment, our attire, or what we have to say. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Colin Kaepernick, the victim,
right?
Just let that wash over you, of the cancel culture. This is somebody who has made tens of millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah. And the shoe that he wore during that tryout or whatever that was, that staged event, that was his new reveal for Nike. So that's why he had to have the cameras there, because that's his brand now. And that's what they were focusing on. That's why he wanted the cameras. And he took it out of location. With 30 minutes to go, he warned everybody. He's self-serving, narcissistic, and he wants to be a martyr.
And
he wore Kunta Kinte slave t-shirt.
Enough about Ta-Nehisi Coates. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, they're both pathetic.
I mean, Ta-Nehisi Coates. So I'm sorry. So we have to applaud whatever you say we have to applaud? If I don't like Colin Kaepernick wearing socks with police as pigs on them, if I don't like Colin Kaepernick singing the praises of Fidel Castro, I still have to patronize him. Or if I'm an NFL owner, I still have to hire him, or somebody in the NFL does. Or the CFL. He doesn't have to play in the NFL. He can go up north. Somebody has to hire him. That's part. It's a requirement.
Well, the XFL is coming back, so he'll probably be recruited for that.
I doubt it, because I don't think he probably wants to play football. As we said, he probably wanted this to be a big PR stunt in close coordination with Nike for the purposes of branding his sneakers and clothing line to make real money as one of these spokespeople for Nike, not as somebody who getting his bell rung on Sundays.
And he mentioned Craig Hodges in that article. Remember Craig Hodges, his first wife set him on fire?
Yes, a classic Why Dan Proft is Single story. I do recall that.
I love Allison Hodges, his second wife. She's good.
I love Craig Hodges from behind the line. I don't know.
Craig Hodges is nice. I went to one of his basketball camps that he had for adult women to lose weight.
The Chicago State experience didn't go well for
Craig
Craig
Hodges. No, it didn't.
Hodges.
Well, he tried.
But I mean,
Right.
it's a school that shouldn't even exist. So, Craig in Mount Greenwood, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy, man, this Kaepernick guy, this guy is so full. Every opportunity that he would grab to take and spew his leftist garbage and everything like that, that was a choice he made over and over and over. Then, because of the sympathizers all support him, everything, making millions of dollars with his leftist spew and all that stuff, then this idiot writes the book to take and talk about how this guy's entitled to something or anything like that. And plus, he wasn't even that grave an athlete. He was okay?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Craig. Yeah, I mean, he was already a backup on the in the waning days of his playing career before he decided to be a political activist.
I really want to tell you my Allison Hodges story, but then I'd be breaking women code.
Nice tease.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you it when we're off air.
Oh, great.
You got to hear this story.
And then after Amy tells me, all our listeners, I will also not tell you. So the both of us will not tell you.
So good.
Great story. Good radio. Marty in Naperville.
You guys answered my question. I was wondering how Craig Hodges got involved in that list of people.
Well, no,
but now I understand. I remember that. Besides him being lazy, not being able to run it up and down the court, I forgot about his. I don't know, but whatever. Okay, just don't bring him no tip and we're good. So.
Well, thanks for the comment. No, Craig Hodges was on the list because
why?
You remember when in '92 when they went to the White House, he wore a dashiki. He delivered a handwritten note to H.W. Bush complaining about the administration's treatment of the poor and minority. So the Craig Hodges got into political activism a bit as well. I don't know that that's that had any impact on Craig Hodges' basketball career, but that's what Ta-Nehisi Coates is referencing.
All right, I'm going to say it. Can I tell you?
Oh, there goes the woman code.
All right, I'm doing it. Oh, God. All right. I just asked her how her marriage was going, and she said, now I know why his first wife set him on fire.
Okay. Mike in Union.
Yeah, somebody needs to ask Colin Kaepernick how the 49ers are doing without him since he's been, mistreated.
Or the Jaguars.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, Mike. By the way, speaking of the 49ers,
Yes.
49ers great now with the Buffalo Bills. Frank
Well, they
Gore.
destroyed the Packers last night, by the way.
Frank Gore is the anti-Colin Kaepernick. Frank Gore, if you're not a football fan, you don't even know who Frank Gore is.
I don't know who Frank Gore is.
You don't know who Frank Gore is?
Well, I'm being honest.
Who's the number one rusher, all-time leading rusher in NFL history?
Frank Gore. Oh, and not Walter Payton.
No.
Barry Sanders.
No.
Dan Proft.
I never played. Emmitt Smith.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Emmitt Smith, another workhorse. Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Then Sweetness. Used to be Barry Sanders, number 3.
Yeah,
Now
when
it's
I lived
Frank
in
Gore,
Detroit,
number 3, playing in his 15th season. You don't know him because you know what he does?
What?
He shows up, he works his ass off, and he comes back from ACL injuries. He's just a beast. 15 years, no big shoe. I mean, I'm sure he makes money on endorsement stuff, but he doesn't have the big shoe deals. He's not on the Nike commercials. He's just somebody that makes sports great. Not just because of what he's accomplished, but because of the way in which he's done it. So the weekend, Frank Gore versus Colin Kaepernick. Frank Gore is who you tell your son to play like.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Latest installment of Impeachment Theater at 6:06.
Here's Mike Scott.
Fair skies to start your day. WIND. Chicago News Time is 6 o'clock.
From Norway to the Navy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump plans to nominate Ken Braithwaite, the U.S. ambassador to Norway, as the next Navy secretary after Defense Secretary Mark Esper forced Richard Spencer to resign as the head of the Navy over the Eddie Gallagher case. He's a Navy SEAL whose rank was restored by the president after Gallagher was acquitted of murder in Iraq, but convicted of posing for a picture with the dead ISIS militants.
In his resignation letter, Spencer writing, I no longer share the same understanding with the commander-in-chief who appointed me in regards to the key principle of good order and discipline. I cannot in good conscience obey an order that I believe violates the sacred oath I took. Mid last week, the Navy announced Gallagher would face a review board to decide if he would be stripped of his Trident pin. That's a prestigious badge which designates someone a Navy SEAL.
That's Fox's Lauren Blanchard. House Democrats still hope to have more witnesses in their impeachment inquiry. And a court ruling is expected today, which could compel former White House counsel Don McGahn to testify in a case that dates back to the Russia probe. If that ruling happens, Democrats hope it could lead to those who've refused to testify in the Ukraine case to come forward. President Trump continues to call it all a hoax. A big win at the polls for democracy in Hong Kong after months of protests. Fox's Simon Owen has details live.
Dave, pro-democracy candidates scoring a landslide victory in district council elections. One party is claiming the bloc took nearly 90% of the seats on offer, as authorities report a record turnout.
It is a genuine referendum of the people of Hong Kong.
One legislator, Lee Wing-tat, saying Hong Kong's government should take note of protesters' demands. The city's leader, Carrie Lam, saying she will listen with an open mind. Dave?
Simon Taylor Swift won big again at the American Music Awards, winning 6 of them last night, including Artist of the Year. She's now won a record 29 of the fan-voted AMAs, eclipsing Michael Jackson's 24. America's listening to Fox News.
Skies are fair, 37 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560, The Answer. And good morning, I'm Mike Scott. A person of interest is in custody in the death of a University of Illinois at Chicago student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. Ruth George was found dead Saturday in a car parked in the Halstead Street parking garage on West Taylor. An autopsy determined the 19-year-old was strangled. A woman is dead after falling inside Water Tower Place in downtown Chicago. The 65-year-old fell last night from the 7th floor of the shopping mall on North Michigan Avenue. A Chicago woman accused in a plot to kill her ex-girlfriend's new romantic interest is being held without bail. Assistant State's Attorney Jack Costello says Lizette Ortiz tried to hire an undercover Chicago police officer to kidnap and kill a woman she blamed for ending her relationship with her ex.
Defendant told the undercover that her plan, after the undercover kidnapped and delivered the victim to her, was to put the victim into a car while tied up and then set the car on fire in a remote location.
Reports say the ex-girlfriend is a veteran Chicago police officer who was assigned to Mayor Lori Lightfoot's security detail. Illinois-based Morris Meatpacking is facing an extensive pork recall. USDA says more than 500,000 pounds of pork distributed through that plant to stores across the state were not inspected. Products include pork loin, pork back ribs, and pork chops produced between November 25th of 2017 and November 9th of 2019. Mitchell Trubisky threw for a score, ran for another. Bears beat the Giants 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls host the Trailblazers later on tonight. Girls High School swimming, Neuqua Valley takes home the title over the weekend over Rosary, New Trier, and St. Charles North. The news, a service of Sylvania Automotive. It's headlight savings time again. And if you can't remember the last time you changed your headlights, it's time to switch to whiter, brighter Sylvania bulbs. Visit headlightsavingstime.com to find your perfect pair. 6:04, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, how would you like to have your mortgage or rent paid for an entire year? Would that qualify as a Christmas miracle?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, you betcha. So it could happen if you enter to win our Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest, presented by AM Woodland Outdoor Design from now through December 20th. But you can only win if you enter. And to do that, go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword miracle. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword miracle, to enter for a chance to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2020.
Hi, it's Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson.
The boys from Crumweedy Home Pros.
Call Crumweedy! Yep, that's us.
Listen, we know it was a horrible winter,
followed by a horrible spring.
You may have held off thinking about getting your project done with the crazy weather we've had, but we want you to know we prepared for that.
Our pros are ready to work overtime if needed to get your project done before the next horrible winter.
No, not another rough winter. This past one was bad enough.
Call us today, and we'll get it done right, and we'll get it done now.
Call Crumweedy!
Whoa, guys, don't forget, we offer 12 months, same as cash. Now, go ahead, carry on.
Roofs, gutters, windows, and siding.
You know you can trust Crumweedy to do a great job and give you a fair price.
630-595-8020.
And watch out for the door-to-door fly-by-night guys. Here today, gone forever. You deserve better.
Call us now for special offers on roofs, windows, siding, and gutters.
Call Crumweedy!
630-595-8020.
Crumweedy Home Pros. We're ready.
Dell's biggest Black Friday ever starts now. Save up to 50% on Windows 10 laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors before Windows 7 support ends January 14th, 2020. Save on servers and a huge selection of electronics with low monthly payments, plus get free shipping. Call 877-BUY-DELL to talk to a Dell Small Business Technology Advisor who can help you find just the right tech. That's 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/SB Black Friday.
I'm Dr. Jeff Gooden, and I treat pain with Salonpas. That's because practicing good medicine is my responsibility as a doctor. For back or joint pain, I agree with CDC guidance that recommends using topical pain relievers first. like Salonpas Patch Large. Salonpas is powerful, FDA approved to relieve debilitating moderate pain, yet non-addictive and gentle on the body. Look for the green Salonpas box in the pain relief aisle. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
With colder temperatures on the way, keep your car running with Prestone Antifreeze. Only Prestone's superior formula works immediately, protecting your engine from the elements to keep your engine running better. So take on the winter with Prestone today.
6:07 in the traffic center, Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway traffic is jammed 159th to 130th, where a crash blocks the right shoulder. And traffic is also heavy Stony Island to the Bryant. Looking at 30 minutes, 80-94 to the Verge. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the Ryan. Edens is okay. The Kennedy, 23 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 22. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at Mannheim, 37 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 29. Stevenson is now 48 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State northbound, there's a roadwork jam, Deerfield to Duffy. Roadwork in the 3 right lanes. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, times of clouds and sun, the high 52. It'll be cloudy tonight, low 34. Clouds and breezy, some rain tomorrow afternoon, the high 46. Winds will be strong on Wednesday. It'll be cloudy, the high Wednesday 45. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
37 O'Hare, next news 6:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Check out the pre-Black Friday event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Take advantage of early doorbuster savings on firearms, ammo, and more. Plus, all Smith & Wesson firearms will be on sale during this event. Visit your Shoot Point Blank store for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Chick-fil-A didn't cave. Chick-fil-A did not cave.
Oh, they didn't?
That's what Franklin Graham writes, posted on Facebook and Twitter. Franklin Graham, of course, Billy Graham Evangelical Association, Samaritan's Purse, Worldwide Christian Relief Organization. Chick-fil-A didn't cave. That's what he contends. Well, I hate to explain why Franklin Graham is wrong, but he's wrong. Who am I to chastise Franklin Graham? Well, here's what Franklin Graham wrote. Has Chick-fil-A caved? Some are saying they've rolled over, that they conceded to the LGBTQ protest because they released a statement about their charitable giving. They announced that in 2020, they're giving to fight hunger and homelessness and support education. What's wrong with that? I picked up the phone and called Dan Cathy, who we're efforting to get on the show, too. If Dan Cathy would like to talk to Franklin Graham, I'd like to talk to him. I'm no Franklin Graham, but I'd still like to talk to him. I picked up the phone and called Dan Cathy, writes Franklin Graham. Dan was very clear that they have not bowed down to anyone's demands, including the LGBT community. They will continue to support whoever they want to support. They haven't changed who they are or what they believe. Chick-fil-A remains committed to Christian values. Dan Cathy assured me that this isn't going to change. I hope all those who jump to the wrong conclusion about them read this. In my opinion, the gay movement would never be happy with Chick-fil-A unless they were open on Sunday, gave all their charitable donations to LGBTQ organizations, and flew the rainbow flag over their stores. Their hatred for Chick-fil-A is rooted in founder Truett Cathy's strong stand for biblical traditional values and his desire to honor God. Okay, yeah, I can see that point. No fast food chain does a better job. Not that there's a lot of competition in that space, especially with the passing of Dave Thomas over at Wendy's there, Franklin, but okay. No fast food chain does a better job. I went through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A yesterday morning, and I thought I might get dinner there, but a whole lot of other people had the same idea.
Oh.
A Chick-fil-A sandwich with waffle fries sounds really good right now.
Yeah, you're making me hungry.
Well, I'd be inclined to take Franklin Graham at his word, but there's a couple of things. One, my immediate reaction to that was that, well, that's interesting. If what Franklin Graham is saying is true, and what Dan Cathy was saying was honest, then why wouldn't you provide that sort of statement that Cathy provided to Franklin Graham when the announcement was made about Chick-fil-A's charitable giving? They had to know how their announcement would be received. So why not provide that contextual information, a restatement of their commitment to the Christian beliefs upon which their company was founded?
Right.
They didn't do that. So that's a curious thing. And then I read this story over at frontpagemag.com. Daniel Greenfield, who's a journalism fellow at the Freedom Center, did a little bit of digging, did a little bit of a look-see at the Chick-fil-A Foundation's giving. And he found a few curious things, starting with the executive director of the Chick-fil-A Foundation.
Yeah.
Is a guy named Rodney Bullard. He's a former White House fellow and assistant U.S. attorney. He was a fellow in the Bush administration, but he was an Obama donor. And more recently, in 2016, he donated to Hillary Clinton's campaign while he was at Chick-fil-A. Huh. Does that sound like somebody who's likely to be aligned with Chick-fil-A's stated values, the values of its founder, Truett Cathy, or what Dan Cathy told Franklin Graham? No, not really. And it turns out that no, not really is accurate, because under Rodney Bullard, the Chick-fil-A Foundation has moved away, and this is an important distinction, moved away from charity and towards corporate social responsibility. Those are basically antonyms. Charity, you know what charity is.
Right.
Corporate social responsibility is virtue signaling and paying off the left. And Chick-fil-A has been moving towards the latter prior to the announcement the other week that created such a firestorm. As Greenfield writes, charity helps people. Corporate social responsibility is virtue signaling by capitalists and anti-capitalists. Corporate social responsibility isn't about helping people, but ticking off ideological and identity politics boxes like diversity and the environment. Exactly. Is that advancing the cause of Christian values? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. If you were holding out hope for Chick-fil-A, I hate to rain on that parade, but it's not forming. The Westside Future Fund is one of the things Chick-fil-A Foundation supports. It's a project of the Atlanta Committee for Progress together with former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed. $1.7 million to the Westside Future Fund. That's compared to $115,000 the Salvation Army got for its Angel Tree program to provide gifts for the poor during the holidays. 1.7 million to 115,000. A less publicized donation, $100,000, went to Sustainable Atlanta. There's also a $10,000 donation to Saris to Suits, whose mission is to, quote, advance women's empowerment, education, gender equality, and social justice, unquote. $25,000 for UNICEF. Is that a Christian organization? $75,000 for the Andrew Young Foundation. Andrew Young, by the way, sits on CFA's Foundation's advisory board. $20,000 to the Harvard Debate Diversity Network.
Oh, my gosh.
$45,000 to the King Center for Nonviolent Social Change. Okay. $5,000 allotted to Friends of Refugees. So there's money for Muslim refugees, writes Greenfield, but not for the Salvation Army.
They didn't donate anything to the Salvation Army?
Well, now they're clipping them.
Right.
Yeah, that's the whole one of the organizations. That plus the Fellowship of Christian Athletes were the headliners. Greenfield writes, that's the tip of the iceberg. Diversity, equity, social justice are typical buzzwords associated with many of the organizations that the Chick-fil-A Foundation has been funding. If you thought Chick-fil-A was different, you were buying the history of Chick-fil-A, not the present. As Greenfield notes, and he provides those details I just mentioned, even when the foundation donated to Christian organizations, it was doing so at pennies on the dollar of what it was contributing to social justice organizations.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Mm-hmm. It's sad. This is why there's a lot of foundations, particularly if it's a conservative, like the Olin Foundation, have a sunset date. Because the longer these organizations exist, I don't know why it is, but one way or another, the left insinuates itself there, usually by terrible hiring decisions like Chick-fil-A apparently made, and board members, corporate types that are transactional and are going in whichever direction the zeitgeist is rather than doing anything from a foundation of principle. Not saying that all corporate executives are unprincipled or anything of the sort, but telling you the trajectory of these foundations. You think the MacArthur Foundation, the vision for the MacArthur Foundation is what it has become today? No. The McCormick Foundation? Colonel McCormick? You think that foundation is consistent with Colonel McCormick's values? No. And so is the case with Chick-fil-A. Sorry to have to report on Truett Cathy's son, Dan, but what he told Franklin Graham and what Franklin Graham told the world just doesn't jive with facts here. Robert in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Chick-fil-A wants to open up more restaurants, and in order to do that in all these cities, you have to follow the politically correct things, and if you don't do it, they're going to stop you. You know, they shut them down at the airport.
Yeah, in San Antonio. That was a huge deal because they were going to move into this great space in the San Antonio International Airport, and they said no. But now I think they're going to change their minds. Come on in.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for the call, Robert.
Chick-fil-A caved.
I know. We talked about that when this story broke, that
Yeah.
their chief executive essentially said that, I mean, without saying it explicitly, which is why this Franklin Graham statement and the Dan Cathy conversation he recounts is a bit disturbing because it all sounds like a big PR misdirection play. They said moving into other markets, European markets, right. And so they're under even more pressure in Europe than they are in the San Antonio airport to buy into the cultural Marxism of the European multiculturalists. Yeah, I get it. So that's what you should do? That's what you should do, then. You should just walk away from everything you say you believe because you can set up a Chick-fil-A in Gay Paris? Is that the argument? You find that compelling? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Jim in Crown Point.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
Yeah, me and the wife we haven't been to Chick-fil-A in a while. We went there about a month ago, and the food is really good. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But after I heard this I was a big Billy Graham guy, one of the greatest evangelists in the world, and I'm a Franklin Graham guy, but man, did he miss the mark on this one. You know, look, we all know money's a great tool, but the love of money is the root of all evil, not some evil. And that's why they're folding. They're folding under pressure because they want more business and they want more money. And us as capitalists, we believe in that. But what are we going to give up to give that money? And that's the key here. So me or my wife will never be back to Chick-fil-A. They turned on us, the way I look at it. So very sad. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jim. Mike on the north side.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Just do to Chick-fil-A what we did to Target. Stop going there. They took a big loss when conservatives stopped going. You got to look behind the picture, though. These social justice issues, this is what the Democratic machine pushes the left to do so they could steal. Now, you're not going to get this from the Tribune editorial board or the Sun-Times or anywhere else. I'm telling you, the next big thievery they're doing in Chicago. Over at Leland and Western, the big parking lot, they have all the festivals on in Lincoln Square. Amy's favorite alderman, that Lincoln Park Trixie, Mary Tyler Martin, or whatever his name is, wants to give it away to an out-of-town developer, give him $1 million in TIF money to build a 16-story building, destroy the neighborhood. There won't be parking. That's where he wants to do it. But listen, this is what they don't tell you.
That's Penny Ante stuff in Chicago.
No, it's not. No, it's not Penny Ante. Let me tell you, you got to look past the picture, because that's parking that LAZ controls. And every time you take a spot out of a parking spot out of circulation, you got to pay them. If you have a store and you want a loading zone, the city's got to get that spot back from LAZ. They got to pay $600,000. There's 50 spots in that lot. That's $30 million. Now the city's not going to give it up willingly. They're going to let the company sue them. And who's their? Wait a minute. Who's their attorney? Canton Munchin, and that means Daly's law firm will get 30% of that $30 million, $9 million. They just create ways for them to steal. And this is the next thing that's coming, and nobody wants to talk about it.
Thanks for the call, Mike. That is penny ante. I mean, I know that's a lot of money, but that's penny ante compared to the feather bedding of the bond houses, the pinstripe patronage that goes on in this city. I mean, that's a form of it as well. But Chicago values, Chick-fil-A values coming together. Isn't that exciting? Northwest Side. Patrick, you're in Chicago.
Yeah, hi, Dan. Good morning, Amy. This reminds me of something in a very Catholic thought in the Bible. At the end of the world, you'll neither be able to buy or sell unless you get the mark of the beast. And that's the way this is going. When I was a kid, I never thought this was possible. But unless you, agree to their politics, you may not be able to buy or sell. Coming.
Thanks, Patrick.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We live in a world driven by information where we hear about data privacy concerns and high-profile data breaches nearly every week. Organizations constantly face new information governance obligations like GDPR and the California Consumer Privacy Act. Take control of your documents and data with Governance Rules as a Service from IDT and Highland on Base. Now, with the help of IDT and Highland on Base, you can achieve both compliance and peace of mind by subscribing to the industry's leading retention, privacy, and data compliance platform, Governance Rules as a Service. It's backed by an international network of law firms across 150 plus jurisdictions and will help your organization adhere to the latest information governance rules from around the world. Automate electronic document management, retention, disposition, and document destruction, and reduce unnecessary exposure to data breaches, avoiding costly fines while saving on information storage costs.
Set up a consultation today. Visit ready4idt.com. That's ready, the number 4, IDT.com. Or call 877-SCAN-IDT. IDT, putting paper in its place.
Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and let's be honest. Most people weren't taught how to invest in school. And if you're like me, you've probably wondered, why does Wall Street seem to win so consistently? How can I do more than just buy and hold? Is there a path to help me take better control of my financial future? Well, there is an answer. Online Trading Academy. As a leader in investing and trading education, Online Trading Academy teaches people just like you a step-by-step process designed to help you make the right moves in the financial markets. So sign up for a free introductory trading and investing class by calling this number, 844-778-7132, or online at otaclass.com. That's a free class right here in Chicago. Call 844-778-7132. That's 844-778-7132 or otaclass.com. You'll even receive their professional insider's kit just for attending. Seats go quickly, my friend. 844-778-7132 or otaclass.com.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
In April of 2017, I got the flu, and I had heard your commercials on the radio for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them. So I ordered them, and in May of 2017, I started them, and I have not been sick once. People at work were getting sick, my husband was getting sick, and I was not getting sick. Everyone I talked to at Balance of Nature is so kind and nice. You know, it's a really good experience all the way around. I'll take this till my last breath.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, let's take Frank in Arlington Heights real quick, and then we'll get on to spreading a little goodwill this holiday season. Frank in Arlington Heights, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan and Amy, good morning. Yeah, this whole Chick-fil-A situation just kind of shows that economic growth itself isn't necessarily conservative. In fact, if you look at it, I mean, since the 80s, we've had generally good economic growth. We become more liberal culturally. And if conservatism is about mainly preserving our civilization, economic growth itself is a problem we conservatives have to somehow address in terms of preserving our civilization.
All right. Thanks for the call, Frank. I mean, it's a fair point that we're not just economic man and woman. I absolutely agree with that.
'Tis the season for giving, and once again, AM 560 has teamed up with Food for the Poor. This year, our goal is to provide food for 1 year for 600 Venezuelan families who are now living in Colombia. Dan, they take this 9-hour journey just to have food and to survive. There's nothing to eat. There isn't even garbage to go through in parts of Venezuela. So really, Food for the Poor is just a wonderful organization. They have 11 feeding centers set up, and they serve 9,000 people daily. But there's such an influx of Venezuelans coming that they need more feeding centers. So we need your help. We're asking for a one-time donation of $300. That's just $25 a month, and that will feed a Venezuelan family of 4 in Colombia for 1 year. Go to 560theanswer.com, search for the keyword food. Again, 560theanswer.com, keyword food, or call 844-862-HOPE. That's 844-862-4673. Every year we reach our goal, and we need your help to get us across the finish line.
Yeah, so the lines here are very bright. The Chicago Teachers Union, they're with the Maduro regime in Venezuela. We here at AM 560, along with Food for the Poor, we're actually with the Venezuelan people, and particularly those who have been able to flee to Colombia to seek food and shelter and to live.
And to get medicine. And it's awful.
And so we're asking you to help us do our part here in Chicago with the larger mission of Food for the Poor. We're doing 600 families, food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families that have fled to Colombia and are living there and being taken care of by Food for the Poor. Food for the Poor is feeding 9,000 people a day through their 11 feeding centers. So just to give you a little bit of an order of magnitude on the scope of the crisis, and then just the small but important part that we're going to do here in Chicago with your help. Again, one of the ways that you can help us, as so many of you have in the past, and so many of you are already, including Elgin Eye Clinic and Bill Napleton Cadillac and HealthInsuranceMentors.com.
Tech Incorporated, yeah.
The Business Benefactor Program. Any business that makes a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor receives as a thank you from us to you for your generosity 40 60-second commercials that will run in our prime broadcasting hours, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. That'll be obviously on our airwaves to promote your business on our station, and hopefully you can generate some good in addition to doing some good. The way to participate in the Business Benefactor Program is to call our sales manager, Ann Jeanette, at 847-472-8951, 847-472-8951, or you can just go to our website, 560theanswer.com, and search the keyword food, and it'll take you to the prompts to sign up for the Business Benefactor Program as well.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Will she or won't she? Will Nancy Pelosi green light articles of impeachment at 6:36?
But now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg now officially running for the Democrat presidential nomination. In a series of tweets Sunday, the 77-year-old billionaire says he's running to defeat President Trump and try and rebuild America. Navy Secretary Richard Spencer resigning under orders from the Secretary of Defense. Pentagon Chief Mark Esper saying Sunday he gave that order because Spencer reached out to the White House with a proposal that would have allowed Court-Martial Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher to retire with his SEAL Trident pin. Lawmakers are home for the Thanksgiving holiday after the House wrapped up its first public hearings on its Democrat-led impeachment inquiry of President Trump last week. Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement getting a huge win in local elections. Millions turned out for Sunday's district council elections, far surpassing the turnout for elections 4 years ago. Pro-democracy candidates have won an overwhelming majority of the 452 district council seats. An entire community in Alabama is mourning this day after the death of a longtime sheriff in that county, John Williams, who was shot and killed during a routine check Saturday night. Williams' death hit several neighbors hard.
He just was taken too quick and too fast, and because I know everybody, even I have to die. We're not here to stay, but it's just a shock.
The suspect, identified as 18-year-old William Chase Johnson. He returned to the scene after a 4-hour search, turned himself in. He is the son of a Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy. Montgomery, of course, is the capital of Alabama. Person of interest is in custody in the death of a UIC student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. A woman is dead after falling inside Water Tower Place in downtown Chicago. The 65-year-old fell last night from the 7th floor of the shopping mall on North Michigan Avenue. And the founder of the Mexican food chain Pink Taco is dead at the age of 38. Now, you may not have heard of Pink Taco, but you've heard of Harry Morton. He was found dead in his Beverly Hills home. He comes from a family of restaurateurs, including the founders of Morton's Steakhouse. Of course, Morton's The Steakhouse was founded in Chicago in February of 1978. Mitchell Trubisky threw 4 score and ran for another as the Bears beat the Giants 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls host the Trailblazers later on tonight. The news, a service of Prestone Antifreeze. With colder temperatures on the way, keep your car running with Prestone Antifreeze. Only Prestone's superior formula works immediately, protecting your engine from the elements to keep your engine running better. So, take on the winter with Prestone today. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher. The Mike Gallagher Show.
The Democrats are clearly telling us there's only one option here, and that is to impeach. There's a reason for that.
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
That's what Nancy Pelosi is concerned about. Man, oh man. I'm so tired of the insanity, aren't you?
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
In April of 2017, I got the flu, and I had heard your commercials on the radio for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them. So I ordered them, and in May of 2017, I started them, and I have not been sick once. People at work were getting sick, my husband was getting sick, and I was not getting sick. Everyone I talked to at Balance of Nature is so kind and nice. You know, it's a really good experience all the way around. I'll take this till my last breath.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
Typically, the car buying process, I think a lot of people would agree that it's not a pleasant experience. You look forward to buying a car, but the actual having to negotiate and purchase a car can sometimes be an ugly thing. And the one thing that I've always had here in 19 years, every time we purchased a car, it's been a pleasant experience.
Another reason why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Stop in for Black Friday deals at Joe Cotton Ford. Get an F-150, the best-selling truck for 42 straight years. Joe Cotton Ford has 0% financing for 72 months on F-150. Built Ford proud, built Ford tough. All incentives applied. Stock number T9611. No hype and no pressure. It's why generations of customers keep coming back for a truly different vehicle buying experience. Stop in for Black Friday deals, Joe Cotton Ford, Gary and North Avenue and Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com. A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at amazon.com.
6:36 AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Talamonte.
North side and Rogers Park, Rogers Avenue is closed right now in Clark, Wolcott. Her vehicle had a gas meter there. Seeing delays on the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway from past 8094 to Sibley. There's several collisions there. The left lane is blocked, and more delays kick in at 111th. 38 minutes drive time, 8094 to the Ryan. I-57, 23 minutes. I-80 to the merge. The Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Kennedy, 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Eisenhower's 43 minutes, 390 to Burn Circle. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Eastbound I-80 is heavy. Oak Park Avenue, 183rd with a crash. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds and sun today, high 52, cloudy and 34 overnight, 37 at O'Hare. And your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Mortgage Update with Dan Frio. Every Saturday morning at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. The question is, will Nancy Pelosi greenlight articles of impeachment against President Trump? There's a lot of indication that they may not, she may not. The question for us, thinking about Trump's prospects for re-election, do you want her to?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
We had this conversation before the hearing started. You know, do you want Trump to be impeached? Will that boomerang on Democrats sufficiently that it's worth the cost? Or, you know, impeachment is not a happy moment, even in these sort of ridiculous times. So why go through that? He'll win anyway, or I don't want to win that way, whatever the reason is. We had that conversation before the hearings. Now, after 2 weeks of hearings and all these witnesses and 30 hours of testimony, now what do you say? Do you want Nancy Pelosi, despite whatever qualms she has, and there's some evidence that her qualms are significant because the polling suggests they should be, do you want her to move forward with it anyway? Kellyanne Conway was on Face the Nation, and she said the White House is preparing for both eventualities.
We're preparing for both eventualities, and here's why, Margaret. If it does go to a trial in the Senate, and that is not certain right now, you've got a lot of Democrats wringing their hands that they did not see, as Will Hurd, a moderate Republican who's retiring this year, said he did not see overwhelming, compelling, clear, and convincing evidence. Many of those Democrats, especially the ones who represent the 31 Trump-Pence districts from 16, they have to go back home and say, I know I promised to lower your drug prices. I know I promised to keep this great economy going on. I know I promised trade deals like USMCA, but we're busy impeaching a president, and they're getting blowback for that. So I think for those Democrats, it's not completely certain yet. Some of them have actually gone on the record saying, I'm not there yet. I have to see what the articles say and what the report is. But we know what they didn't see, this over 12 witnesses and 2 weeks of testimony in over 30 hours. They didn't hear anybody say, when they were asked, bribery, no, extortion, no, quid pro quo for the aid, no, preconditions for a meeting, did the president commit a crime? No, 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 every time.
And so that's one possibility. What if there is a Senate trial?
And I think that if there is a Senate trial, we'll be able to, that'll be more familiar to most Americans. This process is unfamiliar to them, where the president can't even have, there'll be witnesses. The president couldn't even have his own attorneys in there. That's not very fair to the quote defendant. But I think defense will go on offense if there is a Senate trial, and we'll be able to call witnesses, we'll be able to challenge their witnesses, produce other evidence, and those witnesses may include the whistleblower, and I would say his attorney, because his attorney, Mark Zaid, had an email or a text 10 days after inauguration saying the coup begins now, impeachment.
So it's a win-win. Either way, Trump comes out a winner. Agree? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, Adam Schiff said, Dan, we don't need to hear from the whistleblower, right? He was on Meet the Press yesterday.
We had a deep interest in having the whistleblower testify until two things happened. One, we were able to prove everything in the whistleblower complaint with witnesses that had hand information. And second, the president and his allies effectively put that whistleblower's life in danger. The president said the whistleblower and others should be treated as a traitor or a spy, and we ought to use the penalty we used to use for traitors and spies, and that's the death penalty. So here's the thing, Chuck. We don't need the whistleblower's secondhand evidence anymore. It would only serve to endanger this person and to gratify the president's desire for retribution, and that is not a good enough reason to bring in the whistleblower.
I think Schiff's the whistleblower.
Schiff's histrionics notwithstanding, I at least appreciate he conceded the whistleblower had no direct evidence.
He did.
And he should continue on those concessions and concede that despite his claims of overwhelming evidence that Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors, you didn't get any direct evidence from any of your witnesses either. You had a lot of presumptions and suppositions, all of which turned out to be true to the extent you want to argue a transaction was afoot, much less bribery or extortion.
Well, and there were selective memory moments.
Point to a particular statute under which there was criminal conduct, Adam Schiff. Of course, Chuck Todd didn't press him on that because Chuck Todd is just there to amplify Adam Schiff's talking points. Schiff was also asked if he would be prepared to be a witness in a Senate trial. And of course, he said, well, then that would be an indication that the Republicans are not taking this seriously because I have nothing to offer other than recounting what was offered by witnesses in public testimony. Because, of course, he doesn't know who the identity of the whistleblower is, and he has nothing germane to say that he hasn't told the American people in public. Right.
Here's President Trump on the whistleblower.
What whistleblower? I don't think there is. I consider it to be a fake whistleblower because what he wrote didn't correspond to what I said in any way, shape, or form.
Right. And going back to Schiff, though, here, with respect to the go or no go, articles of impeachment or not articles of impeachment. Why not allow for more witnesses? Why not play this process out? Oh, no. Fierce urgency of now for Adam Schiff. They want to get this thing moved along.
Oh, really?
So even as we compile this report, even as we submit evidence to the Judiciary Committee, we're going to continue with our investigation. But we are not going to let the administration stonewalling us stop us. And if people are acknowledging, and I think they're quite right, that the evidence is overwhelming, then you have to ask, what more would be necessary to show Republicans? Indeed, is there anything that could move Republicans?
Well, let me give you one example.
They'll do their duty.
Yeah, so he's just going to continue to repeat overwhelming evidence, overwhelming evidence, overwhelming evidence, get it over to the Senate. That's what Schiff wants to do. And there you could have Chief Justice Roberts compel the testimony of people who have refused to testify before Schiff's Star Chamber, like your John Bolton's, like your Mick Mulvaney's. That's Schiff's play. Although, of course, he's going to be coy, and that's a synonym when it comes to Schiff for lie about whether or not there's a chance there won't be articles of impeachment because he doesn't want to step on Pelosi's toes.
You don't, that articles are not filed this year?
I don't want to prejudge the outcome here. I do think the evidence, the facts of what the president did are really not contested. They're largely not contested. That's the remarkable thing.
They're not contested. Your conclusions about the president, absent any evidence, for 3 years, as you've been absent any evidence during the Russian collusion investigation and absent any evidence here, other than people's interpretations of the transcript, which is interesting, opinion commentary. It's not evidence. In fact, anything that's tangible in this case redounds to the benefit of the president. So it's not only is the evidence not overwhelming, except for acquittal in the context of a trial, particularly as it relates to anything approaching impeachable not only is that the case, you've never had any evidence, but you always have had a conclusion. That's what Adam Schiff has had ever since President Trump was sworn in, and many of his colleagues.
And
They've had a conclusion, and they've been working backward to try to find a rationale to support that conclusion, and they're still doing it. So, of course, Schiff is hell-bent on moving forward, but Nancy Pelosi is looking at the bigger picture. Adam Schiff is just looking to continue to be feted in Hollywood.
And now, yesterday, the big bombshells that emails that we've unearthed showing that President Trump was withholding aid to Ukraine and how he was doing it. I know.
Chip in St. Charles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, the Democrats are waiting for the other shoe to drop. There's more things being investigated. And one of Donald Trump's shoes became untied. And until they can investigate who actually tied that shoe for the president, I don't see how we can move forward as a country. So the Democrats, there's more investigating to do instead of doing the work for the country.
All right, Chip, thanks for the call. Dan in Libertyville.
Hello, thanks for taking my call. I really hope the Democrats are dumb enough to impeach him and let this go to trial, because what it will happen is you will have the biggest TV event in history of people watching the Republicans absolutely destroy the Democrats and everything they've been doing since the president was elected. He will get vindicated. His numbers will go through the roof. His donations will go through the roof. And the Democrats will suffer the worst defeat in political history in the United States, in my opinion.
All right, thanks for the call, Dan. I mean, the other thing is interesting piece by Ted Rall in Wall Street Journal. The left shrugs at impeachment. Sort of the hardcore Jacobin base of the party, not so interested in impeachment. This is from Rawls' piece. Will the Democratic Party this time, in open collusion with the intelligence apparatus, succeed in its second attempt to depose President Trump in what might fairly be called a bloodless coup? That's a question that was posed by columnist Patrick Lawrence, who is not a Republican. He's a man of the left. And as Rawl writes, like many progressives, he has as much disdain for Democrat centrists as he does for Mr. Trump. Over the past month, the socialist magazine, Jacobin, hasn't run a single article about impeachment or even about Trump. Progressive social media is focused on whether Elizabeth Warren is far enough to the left to be trustworthy. Really interesting that and this is why, by the way, you've seen in the debates, Bernie Sanders, among others, but I think really most pronounced has been Bernie Sanders saying, yeah, Trump should be impeached. Okay, I'll check that box. But we got to talk about other things bigger than Trump, other things besides Trump. There's this tension within Democrat socialist ranks between the dyed-in-the-wool Marxists like Bolshevik Bernie and Warren, and those that are more interested in sort of to borrow from Barack Obama, improving things, not revolutionizing, not tearing the whole system down. And so the base of the party, which of course is a growing percentage of it, the squad, Warren, Sanders, representing, frankly, a plurality of the Democrat primary electorate at this point, according to the polls, they're in the tear everything down business. And they want to focus on that, not this sort of navel-gazing gambit by Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler and some of the old war horses in the House. Really interesting. George in Libertyville.
Hey, good morning, Dan. I don't think those guys are going to be happy until we ever end up eating garbage out of dumpsters like their goal is for us, like we have in Venezuela. But my question is, if this thing goes to the Senate, can they call and do they have to appear people like the Bidens, as well as the worm Schiff himself? And if so, are they then able to take the fifth?
Well, yeah, you always have
That's always an option.
You always have the right against self-incrimination when you're testifying under oath, sure. It's interesting you mentioned Biden because, of course, Biden is all upset with his old buddy Lindsey Graham because Lindsey Graham is calling for a look-see into into all things Joe and Hunter Biden. Biden sat down with Don Lemon,
my girlfriend,
over the weekend. And by the way, before I play this clip,
yes,
let's just establish something about Don Lemon.
What?
He is not partisan.
Oh, right. Not at all.
He's not some liberal Democrat.
The Republicans are on the wrong side of history, and they are the most hypocritical. I'm not a partisan. I know people think that I'm some liberal Democrat. I'm not.
No.
Or I'm some. They used to think I was a conservative Republican. I'm not.
Nobody.
But
thought
I don't
that.
think that. I don't think the Republicans are serving themselves well right now with their defenses or lack thereof of a credible one.
Okay, well, that's improper grammar. But Don Lemon, not a partisan. A lot of people think he's a conservative Republican. He's
Who
not.
in the world ever thought that?
In case you thought he was a conservative Republican, he's not.
Okay.
All right? Also, not a liberal Democrat, not a partisan. He's a journalist. He is a seeker of truth. And he sat down with a truth teller named Joe Biden.
Let me ask you, because Lindsey Graham now, who you've worked with, who was a friend, who I know there's video of him saying, oh, you are the nicest person he's ever met. You're the greatest man. And now he's asking the State Department for documents for you and your son. What do you say to Lindsey Graham and folks like him?
They're asking Lindsey Graham. They have him under their thumb right now. They know, he knows if he comes out against Trump, he's got a real tough road for re-election. Number one, I am disappointed, and quite frankly, I'm angered by the fact he knows me. He knows my son. He knows there's nothing to this. Trump is now essentially holding power over him that even the Ukrainians wouldn't yield to. The Ukrainians would not yield to, quote, investigate Biden, because there's nothing to investigate about Biden or his son. And Lindsey is about to go down in a way that I think he's going to regret his whole life.
What do you say to him?
I say, Lindsey,
What happened to us? What happened to us?
I'm just embarrassed by what you're doing.
Oh, he's
for
embarrassed.
you.
Embarrassed for
I mean,
Lindsey.
my Lord.
My
Oh,
Lord,
my
Lindsey.
Lord. And real quick, just because we got to get this in, Joe Biden was asked about his age, because that's a big deal.
Come out and run with me, man. Come to the gym with me and lift with me. Thank God, I know it can change in a moment. I know that. You never can take for granted your health. But I'm in great health. I'm in physical health. And again,
physical health is
I
the best
just,
kind of health.
just sort of watch me like I was doing a parade, and there were some Trumpites there, it was a 4th of July parade, and I said, Sleepy Joe, I said, come run with me, Jack. Come run with me.
Oh my.
Was that Joe Biden or is this Joe Biden?
I just want everyone to know, America, I see you. And I see the faces you all make when I talk. You're scared. Scared I'll say something off color or even worse, on color.
The problems for Joe and Hunter, the courtship of Hunter's father, continue to pile up. An investment firm linked to Hunter Biden received $130 million in federal bailout loans while Joe Biden was vice president. Routed profits through a subsidiary in the Cayman Islands, according to federal banking and corporate records reviewed by the Washington Examiner. We're back to Rosemont Capital, this investment firm at the center of Hunter Biden's financial network. This is the same private equity fund that received $1.5 billion from Chinese interests. It was also one of the companies approved to participate in the 2009 federal loan program known as TALF, or Term Asset-Backed Securities Loan Facility. Under this program, U.S. Treasury Department and Federal Reserve Bank issued billions in highly favorable loans to select investors who agreed to buy bonds that banks were struggling to offload, including bundled college and auto loans, during the crisis. According to federal records, 177 firms participate in the program, many of them well-connected in Washington or on Wall Street. For investors, little risk. Federal Reserve funded as much as 90% of the investments. If the bonds were profitable, the borrowers benefited. If not, the department agreed to take over the depreciated assets with no repercussions for the borrowers, and Hunter Biden got in line with Rosemont Capital.
Must be nice.
So now we're in Ukraine, we're in China. We've got this federal bond program that Hunter Biden's a beneficiary of. But Lindsey Graham is the one we're supposed to be ashamed of for him. Tom in Deer Park.
Oh, hi. Good morning, Dan. You were quoting from an article from a Jacobin commentator. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was, but his notion of calling this a coup It's if the president is impeached, and should he be removed, Hillary Clinton does not get the presidency. Barack Obama does not get it. Joe Biden doesn't get it. It will go to Mike Pence, who Donald Trump chose as his running mate. So when I hear this coup talk, whether it's from a left-wing Jacobin or your favorite right-wing Fox commentator, they're to be dismissed. They're not serious because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, okay, Tom. Yeah, a illegitimate impeachment gambit. I mean, you can call it an illegitimate impeachment gambit if you want. Some people think that when you have sort of fifth column action afoot, that warrants the term coup. So you can call it fifth column action in the intel community at the highest reaches of law enforcement. We're going to have that IG report from the FBI the FBI Inspector General report soon, it would seem, and hopefully the Durham report to follow. So when you have those that sort of behavior afoot at the upper reaches of intel and law enforcement in the federal government, you can understand why people are a bit concerned about whether or not you have people that were not elected to do anything illegitimately running an operation against the president who was legitimately elected to do something. So you call it what you want.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At TermBusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call TermBusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350-350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350-350. That's TOP to 350-350 to schedule your free consultation today.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
The Navy needs a new leader. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump's already found him planning to nominate Ken Braithwaite, ambassador to Norway, to replace Richard Spencer, was forced out as Navy Secretary by Defense Secretary Mark Esper for going around him in the Eddie Gallagher case. Spencer had wanted a review board to consider whether to strip Gallagher of his Trident pin seal status. Days ago, the president tweeted Gallagher will keep that pin after he restored Gallagher's rank.
Gallagher was acquitted of several war crimes during his Iraq deployment, including shooting civilians, murdering a captive ISIS fighter with a hunting knife, and threatening to kill SEALs who reported him. But he was convicted of posing with the dead body of a captive ISIS teenager.
That's Fox's Jackie Heinrich. President Trump moments ago tweeted support for impeachment is dropping like a rock. Meanwhile, the House Intelligence Committee is compiling its report in the inquiry.
We are not going to let the administration stonewalling us stop us.
But Democrat Adam Schiff tells NBC's Meet the Press he's still hoping more witnesses come forward, and Democrats hope a court ruling expected today could be the impetus. A judge may decide to compel ex-White House counsel Don McGahn to testify in the Russia probe.
That decision is expected to be appealed either way, but Democrats are hoping it will build pressure on other officials who've refused to testify at the White House's direction, such as former National Security Advisor John Bolton and Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, who directed military aid to Ukraine to be put on hold before it was ultimately released.
Well, that's Fox's Garrett Tenney. Democrats claim holding that aid up to get Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden amounts to bribery. The president insists he did nothing wrong. Taylor Swift set a record last night, winning 6 more American Music Awards, including Artist of the Year on ABC.
The last year of my life has had some of the most amazing times and also some of the just hardest things I've gone through in my life.
Taylor Swift's now won a record 29 fan-voted AMAs, eclipsing Michael Jackson's 24. America's listening to Fox News.
Skies are fair this early morning, 37 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. This morning, a person of interest is in custody in the death of a UIC student whose body was discovered in the campus parking garage over the weekend. Ruth George was found dead Saturday in a vehicle parked in the Halstead Street parking garage on West Taylor. An autopsy determined the 19-year-old was strangled, and her death has been labeled a homicide. A Chicago woman accused in a plot to kill her ex-girlfriend's new romantic interest is being held without bail. Assistant State's Attorney Jack Costello says Lizette Ortiz tried to hire an undercover Chicago police officer to kidnap and kill a woman that she blamed for ending her relationship with her ex.
The defendant told the undercover that her plan, after the undercover kidnapped and delivered the victim to her, was to put the victim into a car while tied up and then set the car on fire in a remote location.
An investigation is underway after a teen girl was shot to death in Aurora. 15-year-old Jasmine Noble was gunned down early yesterday in the 400 block of Florida Avenue. An Algonquin man is charged in the killing of his girlfriend over the weekend in Schaumburg. Anthony Prade is due in bond court today on a felony count of first-degree murder. Illinois is one of 16 states part of a recall on romaine lettuce harvested from the Salinas, California growing region. CDC says they're investigating the outbreak of E. coli infections linked to the lettuce. Officials are suggesting that if no growing region is listed on your romaine product, it should be thrown away. Bears over the Giants, 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls host the Trailblazers tonight. The news service of Sylvania Automotive. It's headlight savings time again. Perfect time to replace your older, dimmer, basic headlight bulbs with whiter, brighter Sylvania bulbs, so you can see more of the road during the darkest nights of the year. HeadlightSavingsTime.com to find the right bulbs for you. 7:04, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, how would you like to have your mortgage or rent paid for an entire year? Would that qualify as a Christmas miracle?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, you betcha. So it could happen if you enter to win our Christmas Mortgage Miracle contest, presented by AM Woodland Outdoor Design from now through December 20th. But you can only win if you enter. And to do that, go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword miracle. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword miracle, to enter for a chance to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2020.
Dell's biggest Black Friday ever starts now. Save up to 50% on Windows 10 laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors before Windows 7 support ends January 14th, 2020. Save on servers and a huge selection of electronics with low monthly payments, plus get free shipping. Call 877-BUY-DELL to talk to a Dell Small Business Technology Advisor who can help you find just the right tech. That's 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/SB Black Friday.
I'm Dr. Bob Arnott, and I treat pain with Salonpas. Before you take anything for back or joint pain, I recommend applying topical pain relievers first, like Salonpas Lidocaine Patch. Salonpas Lidocaine contains the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription. It blocks pain receptors, providing effective, long-lasting, and non-addictive relief. Also available in roll-on or cream. Look for the silver Salonpas box in the pain relief aisle. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Rick Blavelone, second-generation owner and CEO of Marketing Innovators and a customer of Signature Bank. Our family-run company was founded on the belief that connecting to people on a human level is the best way to build a great business. And when we were looking for a new bank, we didn't have to look far. We shared an office building with Signature Bank in Rosemont and quickly saw that they were truly locally owned and operated. That's why we partnered with Signature. And that relationship makes every business decision better and every communication clearer. Marketing Innovators looks forward to a long-lasting relationship with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
With colder temperatures on the way, keep your car running with Prestone Antifreeze. Only Prestone's superior formula works immediately, protecting your engine from the elements to keep your engine running better. So take on the winter with Prestone today.
7:07 AM 560 Traffic Center time with Jim Telemonte.
North side Rogers Avenue is closed in Rogers Park between Clark and Wolcott after a vehicle hit a gas meter. On the inbound side of the Edens Expressway, delays start at Peterson, 25 minutes Lake Hook to the junction. Kennedy, 38 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 on the Express. How about just 28 minutes to the airport? Eisenhower, 52 minutes, 390 to downtown, 38 from Mannheim, outbound 35 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford both, 27 minutes from I-80 to the Verge. Northbound Tri-State delays from the 83rd Street toll to 75th. Plainfield Road to 47th, and pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Sun and clouds today, high 52. It'll be cloudy tonight, low 34. Clouds and breezy, some rain tomorrow afternoon, high 46. Clouds and strong winds on Wednesday, a high Wednesday 45. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
37 at O'Hare, 40 Lakefront. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Check out the pre-Black Friday event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Take advantage of early doorbuster savings on firearms, ammo, and more. Plus, all Smith & Wesson firearms will be on sale during this event. Visit your Shoot Point Blank store for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Well, some interesting results out of Hong Kong, local elections there, and
they did it.
The freedom fighters routed the Beijing Stooges, 71% turnout, and more than 200 seats won by pro-democracy candidates compared to about 30 for those representing a pro-Beijing party. What does that mean? What does that mean for the state of play between President Xi and Hong Kongans against the backdrop of a trade deal President Trump wants to get done with President Xi, against the backdrop of the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act that passed the House and Senate and is waiting the president's signature? For answers to those questions and more, we're pleased to be joined by Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano. You can call him Jim. Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullom Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation, author of books including Wiki at War and Private Sector Public Wars. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, good to be with you.
So what about that, your interpretation of those local election results in Hong Kong?
Well, I don't think they're terribly surprising.
No.
The people of Hong Kong have been pretty vociferous. And what started this whole thing is they took the promise of one country, two systems. This was the promise that was made, it wasn't a promise, it was a law that was passed when the British gave Hong Kong back to China.
Autonomous till 2047.
Right, which basically said that the people of Hong Kong could keep their political and economic systems, China would be responsible for overall foreign policy. So the results of the elections aren't what's surprising. It really puts the Chinese in a dilemma, and I kind of put the trade deal off to the side because the Chinese need the trade deal as much, if more than we do, and so getting involved in a deep linkage between Hong Kong and China would be a huge tactical mistake for them. I think what they have to keep their eye on is two things. One is the Chinese are never going to allow anything that makes it appear as if China is coming apart. I mean, this is counter to their strategic culture and narrative that those kind of threats are unacceptable, and they will do a Tiananmen Square in 5 minutes if they think that that is in peril. But that's not what the people of Hong Kong are actually asking for. And I think we've clearly seen that what's going on in Hong Kong is not really a threat to the stability of China. But on the other hand, it is a disaster for China's image around the world. It makes them look feckless. It makes them look underhanded. It destroys the whole narrative that China's influence in the world is benign. People can do what they want. The Chinese are just interested in making money. And so their reputation is being severely undermined by this. And I think they've got to keep an eye on that as they decide on their path forward.
But if it would be a tactical mistake for the Chinese to link the trade deal to any American position on Hong Kong, then wouldn't it be a tactical mistake for President Trump to be concerned about that same linkage? Do what you should do in support of Hong Kong pro-democracy forces, because she is going to make a cold-blooded decision on any trade deal, regardless of the American position on Hong Kong.
I believe that's correct. Look, the bill's completely veto-proof. If the president either vetoed it or Paco vetoed it, it would just be, I think, a needless step. It wouldn't placate the Chinese at all. And I think it confuse people as to what the U.S. position is. Where the U.S. and even the president's been very consistently clear that we support the people of Hong Kong, and one country, two systems. You know, Hong Kong is the literal canary in the mine shaft. That if the Chinese get away with this in Hong Kong, where are they going to stop? And so if the world doesn't stand up and say we are watching you, you are essentially enabling Chinese autocratic behavior around the world.
You had mentioned that it's worse for China than it is for us with this trade war. In what way? How so?
Well, I mean, their economy is slowing. They need U.S. imports in a whole variety of areas. And if you want to keep China together, much more important than what these guys in Hong Kong are doing is how the people of China feel about their country and their economy. Are their basic needs being met? Can they buy what they need to buy? Are they getting jobs? China has to be concerned about continued economic growth.
I wanted to switch gears. The dumping of Navy Secretary Richard Spencer. I mean, did the president have any other choice after Spencer essentially flouted his clemency decision on the Navy SEAL in question here?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I don't have a lot to offer here because I haven't been following it super closely. The president is the commander in chief. People serve at the leisure of the president, and they're required to support his policies. If they are lawful, then you have an obligation as an employee of the president to support them, whether you are a cabinet secretary or some lieutenant colonel on the National Security Council.
Well, talk a little bit about what your impression is as to the culture in the Pentagon at present, because I mean the Secretary of the Navy basically saying, well, I know the president granted this Navy SEAL clemency, but I'm going to move forward with the disciplinary proceeding anyway. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Secretary, that's not the way it works, but there seems to be a lot of Pentagon officials, intelligence officers that think it is the way it works under this president.
Well, I will say my one impression is that Mark Esper is the Secretary of Defense, and Mark Esper is in charge.
Yeah, clearly.
And I don't think there's any. If anybody has a doubt about that, then just cross him. I mean, this isn't the only episode where I've seen Esper come down and say, "Look, I'm in charge here."
Okay.
Yeah, and Trump. And Trump has openly criticized the Navy's handling of Gallagher's case and said that he'd not let the Navy discipline him. So
thus the clemency grant, right?
Yeah, and look, like I said, I have to be honest, I haven't been following the case super closely. I'm a huge fan of the system of uniform military justice. But that system has linkages and checks and balances that do go all the way up to the president. And I like much of the criticism. I think it's highly politicized. Everybody was thrilled with the interventions of President Obama because they supported him, and they hate the interventions of President Trump because they don't support him. Well, that's not the best legal analysis.
I wanted to move to the Middle East and Israel. Yet last week, Benjamin Netanyahu became the first Israeli prime minister to be indicted while in office, and this against the backdrop of Benny Gantz being unable to form a government. So you still sort of have the leadership of Israel in flux. We're going to see another election here. What's the future for Bibi? Will he step aside and allow another Likud party member to fill that slot? How is this playing out, and how destabilizing is Bibi's indictment in the region and for us as an ally?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it's terribly destabilizing. We've seen Israel take some very effective action even in recent weeks against the Islamic Jihad. So the Israelis will defend themselves. I don't doubt about that. There's an enormous amount of politics in the Israeli system. There's even less effective checks and balances than there are in the U.S. system. All that's playing out. The timing of the indictments perfectly matched up with an attempt to essentially have an internal coup within the Likud to remove Netanyahu. So much like in the U.S., you have a tremendous admixture of politics and legal proceedings going on. Very difficult to sort all that out. I think in the larger strategic picture, doesn't have much of an impact.
Really? How do you see the formation of the next government coming into focus?
Look, Bibi still might have a future.
Even under indictment, that's interesting.
Oh, well, I think they would say the indictments are partisan and it's a political hit job, and then when would that trial actually happen? That trial might not happen for years, and the people will get to vote if they want the guy back or not.
All right. He is.
I mean, it's not like the people of Israel don't know about this issue because it's been out there forever.
No, right.
Yeah. So I think because of the security, we might actually see the government swing back his way because people fundamentally are concerned about security at the end of the day.
Well,
and what's going on,
and the parallels too. I mean, the Bibi is sounding like Trump, and Trump is sounding like Bibi. One's going through a political proceeding, but they're both talking about a coup, internal coups.
Right. I mean, and there are some. I think. Well, but they're different situations, and I think we have to treat them differently. But clearly, I mean, if you ask the Netanyahu people, this is a completely politically motivated thing, and there's evidence for that. I mean, it's not like a clear case. Well, they're just making that up. There's lots of evidence to suggest that whether the charges, I don't know the charges. I'm not in Israel, but clearly there's enough evidence to suggest that people are playing politics with the issue.
Maybe that's where Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff got the idea to go with bribery, because that's one of the charges for which Bibi was indicted.
I don't know, but I think in this case, if somebody put a gun to my head and forced me to make a prediction, I think people look at the security situation today. They look at the uncertainty, and you might actually have people turn back to Netanyahu. We'll see.
Well, nobody's going to put a gun to Lieutenant Colonel Jim Carafano's head, that's for sure. Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
In April of 2017, I got the flu, and I had heard your commercials on the radio for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them. So I ordered them, and in May of 2017, I started them, and I have not been sick once. People at work were getting sick, my husband was getting sick, and I was not getting sick. Everyone I talked to at Balance of Nature is so kind and nice. It's a really good experience all the way around. I'll take this till my last breath.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, are doors or windows sticking, uneven floors, new cracks in your drywall? Well, does any of this sound familiar? Many homeowners across Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana are experiencing the symptoms of structural issues. Are you aware these indicators can be signs of damage to your home's foundation? All too often, homeowners pay an expensive consultation fee just to determine the problem. Don't be one of them. Call Permaseal today at 800-421-SEAL. A certified structural consultant will thoroughly evaluate your foundation and offer you a permanent solution at absolutely no charge. It's free, folks. You know, for 40 years, Permaseal has been committed to providing quality, proven products, and the superior customer service that you deserve. Heck, when the work is done, you'll have a transferable warranty along with priceless peace of mind. You know who to call. Permaseal, 1-800-421-SEAL, or go to permaseal.net.
Are you tired of paying another mortgage payment for your health insurance? Did you know you're not locked into your current health plan? With non-Obamacare health plans, you may save 25 to 50% or more each month. Contact SVL Insurance Group. They recently helped a healthy family of 5 who were paying $1,800 per month for health insurance using a well-known regional insurance carrier. SVL Insurance Group was able to lower their premium to $750 per month and pick up additional coverage. There are no open enrollment periods, which means you can start or stop your health plan any time of the year. You can also cancel anytime. 2019 has been a remarkable year with the expansion of product portfolios from many insurance carriers. With the elimination of the individual mandate, you're now free to choose any health insurance plan for you and your family without the added stress of a yearly penalty. Contact SVL Insurance Group today to have a conversation and see what's best for your family. Call 224-465-8276. That's 224-465-8276. Online at svlinsuranceGroup.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while that you shouldn't have f***ed with? That's me.
Yeah, that's Clint Eastwood. It's also Willie Murphy. 82-year-old female bodybuilder fights off home intruder. You seen her? You see the guns on her?
Oh, my God. Is it?
82 years old.
She's got better biceps than me.
WNPF powerlifting. Willie Murphy, who attends the Maplewood YMCA in Rochester, New York on a daily basis, getting ready for bed around 11 o'clock when a man started banging on the door asking for an ambulance, declaring he was sick.
Oh, don't fall for that.
She didn't. She called police. She wouldn't let him inside, which angered the man. And she heard a loud noise. She's thinking, what the heck is that? Young man's in my home. He broke the door. Then, upon seeing him inside her home, I picked up the table and I went to work on him.
Oh, that's awesome.
The table. She broke the table over this guy. She can deadlift. She's 82 years old.
How much?
She can deadlift 225 pounds.
Oh, come on.
Said.
Bragger. There she goes showing off again.
I picked up the table. I went to work on him. And when he's down, I'm jumping on him. That's awesome. I grabbed the shampoo. Guess what? He's still on the ground in his face, all of it, the whole thing. I got the broom. He's pulling on the broom. I'm hitting him with the broom. He picked the wrong house to break into. Yeah, I'm sure he's saying the same thing this morning. The guy, 28 years old, Miss Murphy, beat the snot out of some 20-year-old home intruder with about everything that was available in her house that was 225 pounds or less. Oh my God. I love it. All right. Those guns of hers, you don't need Smith & Wesson when you got those Willie Murphy guns. Those should be licensed with the local police department.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. On AM 560, The Answer.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
In April of 2017, I got the flu, and I had heard your commercials on the radio for a long time, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try them. So I ordered them, and in May of 2017, I started them, and I have not been sick once. People at work were getting sick, my husband was getting sick, and I was not getting sick. Everyone I talked to at Balance of Nature is so kind and nice. You know, it's a really good experience all the way around. I'll take this till my last breath.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
'Tis the season for giving, and we need your help to get us across the finish line. Of course, we've paired up once again with Food for the Poor, and this year our goal is to provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families that are living in Colombia. They had to take the 9-hour journey to save their lives and for food. So 5,000 Venezuelans enter a day, and right now they have 11 feeding centers that serve 9,000 people, but with this influx every day of thousands of people, they need to open up more feeding centers. So we're asking for a one-time donation of $300, which is just $25 a month for a year, and that will feed a Venezuelan family of 4 in Colombia for 1 year. How to do that? Call this number, 844-862-HOPE, 844-862-4673, or simply go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food.
And again, if you can't afford $300, any contribution helps us to get to our goal of providing food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families living in Colombia. We also want to make sure our friends in the entrepreneurial set are aware that of our business benefactor program. We're doing that again this year, as we have done with campaigns in the past. And how that works, pretty simple. Any business that makes a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor receives as a thank you from us for your generosity 40 60-second commercials that run in our prime time hours during the week, Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Profile your business on our airwaves. A business that wants to get involved in the business benefactor program, like Ron Wexler with Keller Williams Preferred Realty has gotten involved. Chris Jacobs and Associates with Century 21 affiliated has joined the business benefactor program. HealthInsuranceMentors.com has. 100 South Chop House in Elmhurst has. You can as well. You call our sales manager, Ann Jeanette, at 847-472-8951. That's Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951. Or you can go to our site, 560theanswer.com, search the keyword food. Again, $2,500 tax-deductible donation, 40 60-second commercials that are worth a multiple of that amount on our airwaves during our prime broadcasting hours. It's a great program.
And if you want Dan to voice your commercial, he can do that, or I could, or you can voice it yourself. But again, $2,500 tax deductible. The money goes to Food for the Poor, and we give you 41-minute commercials. Call Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951, or 560theanswer.com. Search for the keyword food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to award-winning investigative journalist John Solomon, formerly of The Hill. Let's check out John Solomon's reporting, I guess, what's transpired over the last 2 weeks in those impeachment hearings. I think his reporting holds up pretty well. That's at 7:37.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
37 degrees at 7:30 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Defense Secretary Mark Esper reportedly fired Navy Secretary Richard Spencer for not telling him the truth about his position on court-martialed Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher. Esper fired Spencer yesterday because the Navy boss had privately proposed to the White House that Gallagher be allowed to retire with his trident pin, signifying membership in that elite unit. Michael Bloomberg's news company will stay away from investigating any of the Democrat presidential hopefuls now that the former New York City mayor is in the race. In a memo to staff, the editor-in-chief of Bloomberg News says the organization, however, will continue to investigate the Trump administration. White House Counselor Kellyanne Conway.
His new ad is all unicorns and rainbows. Keep your health care if you'd like to, and if you don't, I've got something better for you. We heard that from Obama Biden, and Obama Biden Care passed almost 10 years ago, and as we sit here today, over 28 million Americans have no health insurance of any kind.
The New York Times says Bloomberg spent about $30 million last Friday reserving TV ad time in about 100 media markets. London's transport regulator is revoking Uber's license to operate, citing a pattern of failures that puts passenger safety and security at risk. It's the second time Uber has lost its license in the British capital. The ride-hailing company, however, has been given a temporary extension. The UAW's regional director has resigned. Vance Pearson, facing federal charges of participating in a massive embezzlement scheme. He's the second union leader to resign recently. President of the UAW, Gary Jones, has also stepped down. A person of interest is in custody in the death of a UIC student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. Ruth George was found dead Saturday in a car parked in the Halstead garage on West Taylor. Illinois-based Morris Meatpacking is facing an extensive pork recall. USDA says more than 500,000 pounds of pork distributed through that plant to stores across the state were not inspected. Products included pork loin, pork back ribs, and pork chops produced between November 25th of 2017 and November 9 of 2019. Mitchell Trubisky threw for a score, ran for another. Bears beat the Giants 19-14 at Soldier Field. A quick turnaround for the Bears. They take on the Lions on Thanksgiving Day in Detroit. The news service of Prestone Antifreeze. With colder temperatures on the way, keep your car running with Prestone Antifreeze. Only Prestone's superior formula works immediately, protecting your engine from the elements to keep your engine running better. So take on the winter with Prestone today. 7:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Hey, how would you like to have your mortgage or rent paid for an entire year? Would that qualify as a Christmas miracle?
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, you betcha. So it could happen if you enter to win our Christmas Mortgage Miracle contest, presented by AM Woodland Outdoor Design from now through December 20th. But you can only win if you enter. And to do that, go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword miracle. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword miracle, to enter for a chance to have your mortgage or rent paid for all of 2020.
Message and data rates may apply.
Help! Seriously, I am too young for hair loss. My hairline keeps creeping back. Receding?
I got this bald spot. It's thinning everywhere. I'm gonna have to give up and shave it.
Dude, put down the razor, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration expert, is about to give you your real hair back permanently. Don't ignore the signs of hair loss. Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit that reveals all the signs to anyone who texts KEY to 85850. Bosley will show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Plus, since Bosley has new non-surgical options, you owe it to yourself to text now for an absolutely free information kit, no matter what level of hair loss you have. Text KEY to 85850. That's KEY to 85850.
So, what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of Metashare. MediShare is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other health care plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. MediShare works. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry with 400,000 members. They've shared over $2 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. And with MediShare, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And that's a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. 844-51-BIBLE. That's 844-51-BIBLE. 844-51-BIBLE.
A lost dog, not a lost cause. Read Catching Murphy, the latest book from the Associated Press, available now exclusively at Amazon.com.
7:35. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 traffic center time, and Jim Telemonte.
Kennedy inbound delays start at Harlem. It's 43 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 18 of the Express, outbound 30 minutes downtown to the airport. Eden's 23 minutes Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 26. Eisenhower, it's heavy, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown, 48 minutes from Manheim, but outbound just 32 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36 minutes. Ryan, 33 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Bird, Bishop 429. Lakeshore Drive is heavy northbound Roosevelt to Jackson. Northbound Veterans Memorial. The delays are 75th to the Reagan Tollway and the Army Trail Toll to 290. That's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, clouds and sun, 52. Turning cloudy overnight, low 34. 37 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Now that we're on the other side of 2 weeks of the Schiff hearings on impeachment, what do we have? Well, according to Adam Schiff on Meet the Press, we have overwhelming evidence. And he doesn't want to preordain moving forward with articles of impeachment because he doesn't want to step on Pelosi's toes, but he certainly wants us to go there.
So even as we compile this report, even as we submit evidence to the Judiciary Committee, we're going to continue with our investigation. But we are not going to let the administration stonewalling us stop us. And if people are acknowledging, and I think they're quite right, that the evidence is overwhelming, then you have to ask, what more would be necessary to show Republicans? Indeed, is there anything that could move Republicans?
Well, let me give you one example. Let me give you one example.
Do their duty.
You'd also have to ask who those people are specifically that find the evidence overwhelming. Now, on the other side of this, the side that Democrats don't want to talk about, the Joe Biden, the courtship of Hunter's father storyline. Joe is just beside himself. I haven't seen such a poignant breakup since Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn. Joe Biden and Lindsey Graham.
Let me ask you, because Lindsey Graham now, who you've worked with, who was a friend, who I know there's video of him saying, oh, you are the nicest person he's ever met, you're the greatest man, and now he's asking the State Department for documents for you and your son. What do you say to Lindsey Graham and folks like him?
They're asking Lindsey Graham. They have him under their thumb right now.
He's being held hostage.
They know, he knows if he comes out against Trump, he's got a real tough road for re-election. Number one. I am disappointed, and quite frankly, I'm angered by the fact he knows me. He knows my son. He knows there's nothing to this.
Nothing to it.
Trump is now essentially holding power over him that even the Ukrainians wouldn't yield to. The Ukrainians would not yield to, quote, investigate Biden. There's nothing to investigate about Biden or his son. And Lindsey is about to go down in a way that I think he's going to regret his whole life.
What do you say to him?
I say, Lindsey,
Come home, baby.
What happened?
Come home, baby. It's going to be different this time.
By what you're doing for you.
Uh-huh.
I mean, my Lord.
My Lord, indeed. And by the way, I do appreciate that Joe Biden conceded there were no investigations, so thus no quid pro quo. But that notwithstanding, reviewing the last 2 weeks that were in the context of all of the reporting, we're pleased to be joined by John Solomon, award-winning investigative journalist who's been on this Ukraine matter for years in advance of it bubbling up to being the basis for impeaching President Trump. John, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
I got to be with you guys.
Before we get to all this impeachment and Ukraine business, I got to ask you, it's sort of a remarkable thing, Michael Bloomberg entering the presidential race this weekend and announcing that Bloomberg News won't do any investigative reporting on Democratic presidential candidates, of course, including him, but will continue to investigate President Trump. So, I mean, who needs a Fusion GPS when you have Bloomberg News?
Listen, the state of the media is very troubling to me, and it's part of the reason why I'm stepping aside and starting my own media company in a couple of weeks, because we used to speak with a neutral voice. We used to agree there were one set of facts and then let people make up their mind. Today, we don't speak with a neutral voice at all. We pick sides, we pick winners, we pick losers, we create us and them, and we cherry pick facts and we leave other facts out. You can see this even in the impeachment coverage. And so the Bloomberg trend isn't surprising. It's just part of a larger trend of what's wrong with the news media today.
So what was the biggest point of contention for you during these impeachment inquiries?
Well, personally, I watched a lot of these State Department NSC witnesses come out and say, John Solomon's stories are all wrong. Mm-hmm. They don't cite a fact. And then over the next 8 hours, as questioning and cross-examination came along, they'd say, oh, no, that fact is right, that fact's right, that's fact right. And all the way through, they would confirm my story after creating a blanket sweeping claim that my stories were wrong. It's very frustrating to see that. And it goes to the larger issue of this sort of new tactic in information warfare, right, which is declare something wrong, don't be held to account, and find out what it is. And then later on when you're questioned, well, you might actually acknowledge it was right. And for me, it was frustrating, and not just personally, but it's bad for the American people when false storylines are perpetrated by our government and by the news media. And listen, there are good questions on the Trump side. There are good questions on the Biden side. The media refuses to look at the Biden side.
Yeah, let's start on the Biden side, because that is, as you say, an area that the media, the Beltway media, doesn't want to look at. Right. Give us the Reader's Digest version of the timeline of the Biden adventure in Ukraine, and that, frankly, has now metastasized into a Biden venture in China, to a Biden venture with the federal loan program in 2009. So everywhere Hunter is, Joe is sure to follow to make sure he's getting some action from the work that's being done. But let's just stick on Ukraine, because this is where you've really been on the nut for several years, and give us the timeline and why this is relevant.
Yeah, so I just put out about a 50 or 60 point timeline that really, I think, when people read it, they go, oh my gosh, now I get it. So 2014, there's the Maidan Revolution, the Russian favorable government in Ukraine. So now Joe Biden gets put in charge of all U.S.-Ukraine policy. He goes in April and he talks to Ukraine officials and he tells them, hey guys, you need to ramp up your natural gas exploration and you should use Americans to help you. That is April 2014. Within 4 weeks of that statement, both Hunter Biden's business associate, Devon Archer, and Hunter Biden are added to the board of the largest Ukrainian natural gas company called Burisma Holdings. So Joe Biden suggests the idea, and there is his son to get to catch the reward. A few years pass. In December of 15, it becomes clear to America, because of a front-page New York Times story, that this company, Burisma Holdings, is under criminal investigation in Ukraine for corruption. By the way, most of it, I think almost all of it, predating when Hunter joined the board. But he clearly was put on the board perhaps to insulate that investigation. So Joe Biden is now aware the chief prosecutor in Ukraine is overseeing an investigation of the company where his son works. That's not in dispute. February, that investigation escalates, and there's a raid on Hunter Biden's boss, the owner of Burisma Holdings. They raid his home, they take his documents, they take his possessions. It's clear that this investigation is moving forward at a rapid pace. And we know from the prosecutor they were making plans to interview Hunter Biden. What did he know about what the boss was covering up or had done wrong? It is at that point that Hunter Biden's legal team, the American legal team for Burisma, shows up at the State Department. We learned this because I got some FOIA documents recently. And they start pressuring the State Department. You need to make these allegations go away. This corruption talk needs to end. That is February 2016, the beginning of the Trump-Clinton election. Within a month, that's when Joe Biden intercedes and makes that threat and tells the Ukrainians, you don't get your $1 billion unless you fire that prosecutor. And Joe Biden fires that prosecutor. And over the next several months, the replacement prosecutor settles all those cases with a fine. So that's the timetable, and that's not in dispute. You can go and look at the timeline, and it's all documented very carefully.
Well, two things. One is George Kent, at minimum, testified during day one of the public hearing. Yeah, when Hunter was named to the Burisma board, that was something that was a concern to me because of the obvious appearance of a conflict of interest. It was sort of
that's right.
It's a per se conflict of interest. And so what that would portend. But then a foreign service officer after officer, diplomat after diplomat, they sort of whitewash over the threat that Joe Biden made about loan guarantees, the demand for the removal of the prosecutor. They sort of they sort of are in the ends justify the means business, saying that prosecutor was corrupt, so it was okay. Whereas when Trump is in the ends justify the means business, it's a problem.
Yeah, no, it's interesting the ethical jumps they did on this. So here's what the law says: if you create the appearance of a conflict of interest, or you're involved in something that creates the appearance of a conflict of interest, you must step aside from the decision. So once Joe Biden knew the prosecutor he wanted to fire, it didn't matter if he had good reasons, bad reasons for firing the guy. The ethical thing to do, everyone agrees, is to step aside. That's what he should have done. And instead, he stayed involved in this decision. And, George Kent's testimony goes much further than just he saw a perception of a conflict of interest. He said he knew the company had such a corrupt reputation that in 2016, he put a stop to a plan where the State Department was going to do a joint project with Hunter Biden's company. He actually stopped it because he didn't think it was appropriate for the State Department to be in bed with such a bad company. So, and Ambassador Yovanovitch, she said she saw the conflict of interest. So the only person who can't see the conflict of interest, apparently, is Joe Biden.
And though that conflict of interest, those concerns with Burisma's dealings and the involvement of the vice president's son, those didn't rise to the level of running to the intelligence community's IG, filing a whistleblower report, none of those things. So, they're not, and this is at a time where you have the presidential administration making a decision on Ukrainian aid that was opposed by all of these career diplomats. I mean, with the exception of Fiona Hill, who was supportive of it before she wasn't supportive of it, before she's supportive of the Trump position.
That's right.
And then we're supposed to believe simultaneously that all of these diplomats have no partisan affiliation because they've served Republican and Democrat presidents.
Yeah, listen, I think after 2 weeks of hearings, you could see why the independent vote has gotten cold on the idea of impeachment. I think, one, it's confusing. You wonder what these bureaucrats are really up to. But more importantly, I think the American people are quick enough to understand there's a double standard here. If you're going to hold Trump to this account, why didn't you hold Biden to that account? And I think that the more this goes on, the more the people in the middle, the people who win elections and who matter every day in middle America, the more they're going to move away from these proceedings. And I think that's a great challenge for the Democrats right now, maybe why they haven't committed to articles of impeachment yet, because the politics are tricky for them now. They did not make the sort of case that swayed the American people. And in fact, if you look at some of the polling data, the American people kind of see a double standard going on here, and they're scratching their head trying to figure this out. So it's an interesting dynamic. It shows the American people are very wise.
And I have a quick question for you. In regards to Hunter Biden, what work did he do? Would he just go to a monthly board meeting, or because he didn't live in Ukraine?
Yeah, it's unclear, right? We know how much he got paid, right?
Yeah.
He and his firm was getting paid $166,666 a month from 2014, May of 2014 to at least December 2015, when I can see the records. That is a lot of money. It's $3.4 million that he and his business partner, Devin Archer, got. Now, when you look at the Burisma books, it calls it consulting payments, which is very unusual. You don't normally pay a consulting payment to a board member. So it's really kind of unclear what they did, but they certainly were paid very handsomely.
Right, and it's not like it was legal work where he's billing hourly either, clearly, because of, as you said, how it was characterized.
Yeah.
With respect to now the Dems and going after Trump, every star witness, every witness, of course, was a star witness, but even when you got to the people that actually had been on the call and communicated with President Trump at least once in their lives, which was about half of the field, you had like Gordon Sondland, the ambassador to the EU, saying things that were contradictory one breath to the next. So, for example, he makes this declarative statement, there was a quid pro quo and everybody knew it, and then everybody rushes to say it's game over, Trump should resign by the end of business today. And then later in the back and forth, he says there's not one person on the planet that ever told him there was a quid pro quo that needed to be enforced. So which is it?
Yeah, well, I think if you interpreted Sondland's testimony, this is what it might sound like to an average person. There was a quid pro quo. I created it because I presume that's what the president wanted, but I never checked with the president. Then when I checked with the president, I found out he didn't want a quid pro quo. I think that's his testimony, and that's what's so problematic for the Democratic case. Anyone who talked to the president so far who has testified has said, the president told me he wanted nothing, no quid pro quo. So they may have gone down that path on their own, making assumptions, but at the end of the day, no one can prove that the president ordered a quid pro quo. And I think that is the great challenge to this case. They built their entire case around the idea Trump ordered it, and at least at this moment, that evidence is not in record.
Well, and the other thing they do, right? So Adam Schiff and others can, see into the evil in Trump's heart, and they can also see into the fear in Zelensky's brain, right? Because Zelensky's public pronouncements are to be discarded. That he felt no pressure, there was no quid pro quo, there was no pressure. We didn't even know about the aid being withheld until the end of August. But what he's really doing is he can't risk offending President Trump and upsetting the relationship between the U.S. and Ukraine. So that's how we're supposed to understand his pronouncements to the contrary.
Well, I think Adam Schiff had one of the great lines, if you go back to Russia, that I think it describes how Adam Schiff has conducted himself the last 3 years is after Mueller and after all the other people had testified, they had not found collusion. Adam Schiff said something to the effect of, there's collusion there if you're willing to see it. Well, I guess you can be willing to see a pink elephant even if you're in a gray room. I just don't know. But I think at the end of the day, those sort of rhetorical leaps are what make people scratch their head in everyday America. They kind of see what's going on here, which is this is a very serious proceeding, but it's masqueraded, and it really is just covering a political game. And I think the American public can see through it. And the longer this goes on, absent some bombshell evidence, this is not going anywhere, at least in terms of public sentiment. It's fading very quickly.
He is John Solomon. He's an award-winning investigative journalist. JohnSolomonReports.com is where you can review some of his reporting, past and present, and we'll look forward to your next venture as well. John, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for the time.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND, or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Hey, listen up. We have an exclusive offer for MyPillow just in time for the holidays. If you buy a set of those Giza cotton sheets that I keep raving about, you get a second set for free. 2 for 1. Not only that, but you'll get free shipping. And if you add anything else to your order, like a MyPillow or a mattress topper or their new towels, anything, all those items will be shipped for free as well. And you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, but you have to use the promo code Amy. Seriously, get someone a MyPillow for Christmas, and they will thank you every time they rest their head on that pillow. And I started sleeping much better, too, with the brand new Giza cotton sheets. And the towels are absorbent, they're soft, come in many colors. So all the products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special box, and get 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1 plus free shipping. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201 and tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I am definitely enjoying and committed to the fruits and vegetable capsules. You know, the secret for this is there is no other place, no other source for getting all of those nutrients from simple fruits and vegetables. It's easy to take. I feel stronger and better, more energy, more completeness, less pain a little bit here and there, and just better. It's a very special product. There's nothing else on the market near it, and I'm just really glad that I have it.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Are you looking for the perfect gift? I hope you'll check out Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville. I love these guys. Mike Gallagher here at Roland's. Not only do they care about making America great again, they also care about making your holiday moments memorable. You know, buying jewelry is about trust. Roland's is the go-to place. You're going to see why when you visit RolandsJewelers.com or head to downtown Libertyville to work with them in person. It's no hassle. They'll show you pieces from the top designers, Simon G. with beautiful pendants. The Hearts on Fire diamond earrings are a great choice. Italian designer Roberto Coin's collection is gorgeous. Ken over at Roland's is offering up to $500 for AM 560 The Answer listeners. Not just for jewelry, but luxury timepieces, like the watch I wear from Roland's, Shinola, or Longines, or Tag Heuer. Your choice. Roland's Jewelers makes your gift giving easy. RolandsJewelers.com. Let them help you in store in downtown Libertyville. Roland's Jewelers is a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
If you have Medicare, the deadline for annual enrollment is next week. Make sure your plan is still the right fit with a free service from Health Markets. Health Markets' new Fit Score compares thousands of Medicare plans from national insurance companies. In minutes, you'll know if your current plan is the right fit, or if there's one that can get you extra coverage, let you keep your doctor, and save you money. Health Markets could help you find plans with $0 copays, $0 deductibles, and $0 premiums, or plans with dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. You could even find plans that offer benefits for hearing aids, diabetic supplies, or gym memberships, or vitamins, meal delivery, and transportation to your appointments. Best of all, their service is free. The deadline for Medicare enrollment is next week, and the wrong plan could cost you thousands. Don't put it off. For this smart, unbiased, and free service, go to healthmarkets.com for details, or call 800-691-2240. That's 800-691-2240. 800-691-2240.
AM 560, The Answer.
Since 1964, the Chicago Leadership Prayer Breakfast has brought together leaders of all faiths from the business, government, and nonprofit worlds. Join more than 600 Chicago leaders with AM 560. Breakfast shares Marty Ozinga IV and his brother Paul Ozinga. And hear from keynote speaker Dr. Nicholas Pierce at the Chicago Hilton on December 6th at 7:30 a.m. Tickets for the 2019 Chicago Leadership Prayer Breakfast by the Chicago Sunday Evening Club are $100 or $1,000 for a table and are available on Eventbrite or at csec.org. That's csec.org.
And quickly, if you're a business owner or make the marketing decisions for your company, listen up. Our Business Benefactor Program, $2,500 one-time donation, tax deductible. All of the money goes to Food for the Poor to help those starving Venezuelans. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 41-minute commercials. The spots are filling up. Elgin Eye Clinic, Bill Napleton Cadillac, just to name a few. To become a business benefactor, call Anjanette, 847-472-8951, or go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Climate emergency is the phrase of the year, and not just on the campus at Yale. We'll discuss with Francis Menton, the Manhattan Contrarian, at 8:08.
But now let's head straight into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a person is in custody in connection with the death of a UIC student. A Chicago woman charged in a murder-for-hire plot, and a woman falls to her death inside water tower. place. Bears hold on to beat the Giants. Bulls host the Trailblazers later on tonight. Times of clouds and sun in your forecast today. High of 52 degrees. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Support for impeachment is dropping like a rock. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump tweeted that this morning, urging Democrats to get to work on other things, like approving a New Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Now, he's been calling the investigation into the Ukraine controversy a hoax. He did nothing wrong. Fox's Jared Halpern is live at the Capitol.
After 2 weeks of public impeachment inquiry hearings, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff on NBC's Meet the Press says there's already overwhelming evidence. President Trump sought foreign interference in an election by demanding Ukraine open investigations into political rivals.
There are still other witnesses, other documents that we would like to obtain, but we're not willing to go the months and months and months of rope-a-dope in the courts, which administration would more than love for us to do.
The Intelligence Committee is preparing a report for the Judiciary Committee, the panel that would draft articles of impeachment. Dave.
Jared, Democrats hope a court ruling expected today could help them compel John Bolton and others who have refused to testify to come forward. A judge may rule ex-White House counsel Don McGahn must comply with a subpoena to testify in the House's Russia probe, though McGahn could appeal that. The Navy needs a new secretary after Richard Spencer was forced to resign in the Eddie Gallagher case.
The Navy secretary was essentially cutting deals around the defense secretary's back and creating a lot of confusion in the ranks.
Republican Congressman Michael Waltz. Spencer wanted a review board to consider whether to strip Gallagher of his Trident pin Navy SEAL status. President Trump had restored Gallagher's rank and tweeted he'll get to retire with that pin. Gallagher was demoted after being convicted of posing with the dead body of an ISIS militant in Iraq, though he was acquitted of murdering him. Michael Bloomberg will be out campaigning this week after the billionaire, former New York City mayor, made a late entry into the Democratic presidential race, saying on Instagram,
"This country is being pulled apart. We need to pull it together."
The billionaire plans to spend his own money, starting with a multi-million-dollar ad campaign. America's listening to Fox News.
37 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A person of interest is in custody in the death of a UIC student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. Ruth George was found dead Saturday in a car parked in the Halstead Street parking garage on West Taylor. An autopsy determined the 19-year-old was strangled, her death labeled a homicide. A woman is dead after falling from the 7th floor of Water Tower Place. The 65-year-old fell last night, pronounced dead at the scene. Her identity and cause of death are pending an investigation by the Cook County Medical Examiner. A Chicago woman accused in a plot to kill her ex-girlfriend's new romantic interest is being held without bail. Assistant State's Attorney Jack Costello says Lizette Ortiz tried to hire an undercover Chicago police officer to kidnap and kill a woman she blamed for ending her relationship with her ex.
Defendant told the undercover that her plan, after the undercover kidnapped and delivered the victim to her, was to put the victim into a car while tied up and then set the car on fire in a remote location.
Reports say the ex-girlfriend is a veteran Chicago police officer who was assigned to Mayor Lori Lightfoot's security detail. Bears beat the Giants 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls host the Trailblazers tonight. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. It will be a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs. Now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Deirdre Bolton, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Charles Schwab is merging with TD Ameritrade. The all-stock deal is valued at $26 billion. The headquarters of the combined business will be in Westlake, Texas. Tiffany has been sold to LVMH, the parent company of Louis Vuitton. LVMH is paying $16.2 billion for Tiffany. Also, Novartis is buying cholesterol drug maker Medicines for nearly $10 billion. Investment strategist Michael Lee says these mergers are a sign of faith in the market.
This is one of your best bull market signs that corporate boardrooms think stocks out there are cheap and there are things to do.
Tesla's Cybertruck launch may have looked like a bust, but it's not deterring people from buying the new pickup. MarketWatch says the Cybertruck has picked up $20 million worth of pre-orders. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
It's 8:04 on AM 560. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity predicts a disaster from the impeachment hearings.
The corrupt, do-nothing, modern, extreme, radical, socialist, democratic impeachment fanatics. This is turning out to be worse than, I have no idea what Fusion GPS is, Mueller. I mean, it's that bad today.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me, I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. See Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Dell's biggest Black Friday ever starts now. Save up to 50% on Windows 10 laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors before Windows 7 support ends January 14th, 2020. Save on servers and a huge selection of electronics with low monthly payments, plus get free shipping. Call 877-BUY-DELL to talk to a Dell small business technology advisor who can help you find just the right tech. That's 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/SB Black Friday.
I'm Dr. Jeff Gooden, and I treat pain with Salonpas. That's because practicing good medicine is my responsibility as a doctor. For back or joint pain, I agree with CDC guidance that recommends using topical pain relievers first, like Salonpas Patch Large. Salonpas is powerful, FDA approved to relieve debilitating moderate pain, yet non-addictive and gentle on the body. Look for the green Salonpas box in the pain relief aisle. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
8:07 AM 560 Traffic Center time and Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Edens, delays start at Peterson, 23 minutes like Cook to Montrose, outbound 27. Academy, 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 27 from Montrose, 24 in the Express, outbound 34 minutes downtown to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower is an hour and 9 minutes, 390 to downtown, 50 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound an hour and 8 minutes to 390. There was an earlier crash at Addison Road. Inbound Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 44 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 26 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Seeing delays on the northbound Tri-State 87th to 31st. And in pockets from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 75th to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Our morning meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, times of clouds and sun, the high 52. It'll be cloudy tonight, low 34. Clouds and breezy, some rain tomorrow afternoon, the high 46. Winds will be strong on Wednesday. It'll be cloudy, the high Wednesday 45. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
37 at O'Hare, 40 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Check out the pre-Black Friday event this weekend at Shoot Point Blank. Take advantage of early doorbuster savings on firearms, ammo, and more. Plus, all Smith & Wesson firearms will be on sale during this event. Visit your Shoot Point Blank store for details.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Maestro, drum roll, please.
Uh-oh.
The 2019 word or phrase of the year from Oxford Dictionaries is climate emergency.
Hey.
Yeah. If you guessed climate crisis or climate action, good guesses. Those were also on the short list because that's how much this apocalyptic lexicon has dominated the dialogue in 2019. Climate crisis, climate action, not scary enough. Climate emergency, the fierce urgency of now. That's the phrase of the year. And you can understand why, because you have scholars.
Oh, scholars. From Harvard.
Actually, activists masking as scholars, treated as scholars by the D.C. press corps, like Roger Hallam, who is the founder of an activist group called Extinction Rebellion, which was the name of my high school band.
Oh, hey, there you go.
You remember? Yeah.
What was the cover band for?
Billy Squier.
Oh.
Yeah. Roger Hallam, in an interview with a German media outlet, he compared the climate emergency, use the popular phrase, to the Holocaust. The fact is that in our history, millions of people have been regularly killed under dire circumstances. To be honest, you could say this is almost a normal event. He warns against Hallam in his book, slow and agonizing suffering and the death of billions of people from global warming, saying that the human devastation will be 12 times worse than the horror of Nazism and fascism in the 20th century.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have that. And then on a more parochial level, you have, the old annual Harvard and Yale football game interrupted by 150 students from Harvard and Yale.
Yeah, they delayed the game about an hour.
Yeah. Because Harvard and Yale, there's no winners in that football game. Well, it's Ivy League football, so participation trophies, of course. But in addition to that, no winners because Harvard and Yale are both complicit in climate injustice. So who is winning the climate wars? That's a question that our next guest, Francis Menton, asked and answered at his site there, Manhattan Contrarian. And I want to talk to him about that. Francis Menton, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, climate emergency is Oxford's word of the year. You have increasingly hysterical predictions about end times and just when they're going to occur and how devastating they'll be, how quickly. And worst of all, of course, you have the Yale-Harvard football game being interrupted.
Should I mention that I was at the Yale-Harvard football game?
Really?
You were there?
Oh, no.
Were you on the field?
Yeah.
Where were you at the game?
I was not on the field, but there were, in addition to the demonstrators on the field during a delay of about an hour, there were young people walking around the crowd handing out flyers about the climate emergency and insisting that Yale and Harvard both should divest from fossil fuels. I, of course, took the opportunity to confront these people and ask them, do you think Africans are allowed to have electricity or no?
Mm-hmm.
What's your view on that?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have an answer.
So is the problem the conservatives that run Yale and Harvard? Is that the problem?
Conservatives run Yale and Harvard?
Yeah.
Right?
Is that the problem? 'Cause I don't know who they're protesting.
That's an excellent question, although I don't believe either of their endowments has been divested from fossil fuel companies, nor should they. It would be ridiculous. Not that would have any effect on how much fossil fuel is produced or used in the world.
Did you ask them if they really want to go zero carbon emissions? Then you hate to inform them, but we're going to have to remove you, not just from Harvard or Yale, but from the planet.
Yeah, and maybe stop breathing.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
what was the reaction of the crowd, though? Because I didn't really see crowd reaction when they stopped the game.
There was a student section of the crowd that may have been different, but I was in the adult section of the crowd, which was basically okay with it for 5 minutes and annoyed and irritated increasingly after that, and it went on for about an hour. So
I'm just happy to hear there's an adult section at Yale Stadium. I'm surprised to hear that.
well, maybe we call it the old people section.
Yeah. Well,
I would like to point out one more thing before we move on.
Yes.
Yale won the game.
Yes.
If you went to Yale like I did, that's of some significance.
Yes, congratulations on your overtime victory.
In double overtime.
Yeah. So I was going to say you're not just a passive fan of Ivy League football. I assumed you had some skin in that battle.
Exactly.
And
I attended Yale as an undergraduate many, many years ago.
Well,
when it was not quite as crazy as today.
Yeah, well, as I want to say about Yale, Buckley wrote God and Man at Yale. Now neither God nor man is welcome at Yale.
Well, they still allow crazy students.
And so
God not so much. They have a new religion. The new religion is climate. That far and away, that's the new religion.
Well, yeah, well, it certainly seems to be. And it's interesting because sort of concurrent to this event on Saturday, last week, Yale announcing that they're put together a committee to try to develop a more tolerant campus environment for dissenters. But as one English professor at Yale pointed out, the problem is they've eliminated all the dissenters with respect to their hiring or their admissions policies. So there's nobody left to dissent.
Well, as an old Yalie, I do know a few things about this. And there is something called the William F. Buckley Program at Yale, which is a conservative organization that makes its business to keep conservative thought alive there. And they have a not small enrollment of students, like 300, which is not 10% of the student body, but it's not nobody. It's quite a lot of people. There is conservative thought on that campus. It's an oppressed minority, but it's there.
And with respect to the larger issue of the discussion about climate, about the climate and the politics that surround it, Michael Bloomberg gets in the race yesterday, and featured prominently in his introductory video is that he is going to combat climate change with every fiber in his being, just as Tom Steyer and everybody else is.
Well, good luck with that, because my friends in China are in the process of building hundreds upon hundreds of new coal plants, and anything the United States can do to marginally reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 5 or 10% over the next 10 or 20 years. And I don't even believe that's going to happen. But if it did, the increased emissions from China and from China's client states in places like Africa and South Asia will be a multiple of any reduction the United States can achieve, maybe 5 to 10 times. So it's all a joke. It's all a big virtue signal that will have no effect whatsoever. But the good news is that the climate is not an emergency, and you'll never notice the temperature increase, if any.
I wanted to get your reaction to another Yale alum, Hunter Biden. He went to Yale Law School. Congratulations.
He did. I did
Yes,
not
congratulations to him.
Yes.
I hope he donates money to your school.
Yeah, well,
He's got a lot of cash.
He said he's launched a very successful business and legal career recently, in particular. You wrote at again your site, Manhattan Contrarian, about this other perhaps word of 2020, bribery, and who really is perhaps most fitting of that description, having participated in bribery. Is it President Trump or is it Vice President Biden?
Yes, I would be glad to comment on that. The bribery seems to be the new word of the day with from Adam Schiff as to what he claims Trump did. But a bribery allegation against Trump is extremely iffy because he didn't get anything other than a potential intangible political advantage in a coming race against a candidate I don't think is going anywhere anyway, namely Joe Biden. That's a pretty iffy bribery case. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden got $3 million, or maybe it's 5. We don't have the total yet. It's at least 3. And Joe Biden has flat out admitted on a video that everybody has seen that he got the prosecutor who was prosecuting his son's company, fired. It's a lay-down bribery case, as far as I could see. I think their position is completely indefensible. I'm surprised that anybody even tries to keep defending it.
And by the way, it should be noted that you were a practicing attorney, right?
I still am a practicing
Okay,
attorney,
still
but
are.
I'm still a practicing attorney in a small-time way as a semi-retired guy, but I was a high-end practicing litigator, however, not in the criminal field.
But I mean, the case that Adam Schiff has presented over the last couple of weeks, in particular in public, that he describes as including overwhelming evidence that basically the dispute is over, the debate has since ceased, that there's overwhelming evidence the president committed some illicit act, and they are using the terms bribery or extortion. Are you compelled by Adam Schiff's evidence in advance of that?
I don't even get it. I mean, I said there's a lay-down case of bribery against the Bidens. Absolutely, they should be investigated. I think we all owe Trump a debt of gratitude for asking they be investigated. If he had, in fact, withheld aid to Ukraine to coerce an investigation, I would applaud him, but I don't think he did. But still, I would applaud him. The Bidens need to be investigated because the final evidence to prove the case of bribery against the Bidens is in Ukraine, so they need to provide it to us, and it needs to be asked for, and Trump or Barr are likely people, appropriate people to ask for it.
He is Francis Menton. He's the Manhattan Contrarian. Check out his columns on climate wars as well as the impeachment proceedings at Manhattan Contrarian. Francis Menton, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, this is Dan Frio with the Mortgage Update. Daily you hear guys on the radio going back and forth about how they're better than the other guy, and then you hear how their team can help you buy or refinance a home. But answer this, are they a direct lender who has the ability to approve, underwrite, and close your loan? I am. Are they a middleman who's at the mercy of another company? I'm not. When you call, do you speak with the person who's telling you how great they are? Or are you talking to a salesperson? Not me. You work with me personally. And last, I put my money where my mouth is. I offer an exclusive rate match program for those times when I don't have the best rate. So to work with me personally, call 844-775-LOAN. That's 844-775-LOAN. Or find me on the web at windmortgage.com. That's windmortgage.com.
Parkside Lending, LLC is an Illinois residential mortgage licensee and an equal housing lender. NMLS 176162.
Hey, how's your prized possession, your home? Are your floors cracked? Are your windows or doors sticking? Uneven floors? That could be a sign of structural issues. And are you aware that these indicators can be signs of damage to your home's foundation? Well, all too often, homeowners pay an expensive consultation fee just to determine the problem. Don't be one of them. Just call Permaseal, and they will give you a free quote. Absolutely no charge. 800-421-SEAL, 800-421-7325, or simply go to permaseal.net.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
You know, I have to say, I'm a very active person. I have my own business and I run around all the time. And I actually work out. I lift weights. And I started taking the Balance of Nature in the beginning, and it was an amazing thing. It's helped me with everything. I used to say, I don't feel old, but I don't feel young anymore. But since taking the Balance of Nature, I have to say I'm starting to feel young again.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800 888-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and the good news about both Mike Bloomberg's entrance into the race as well as the large field of socialists running for president is it brings back all the SNL veterans.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they don't have enough cast, enough good impersonators to do all of these candidates. So you bring a Woody Harrelson back to do Biden. You bring a Rachel Dratch back to do Amy Klobuchar. You bring a Will Ferrell in to do Tom Steyer.
It was the best SNL skit that parodied the Democratic debate
that
nobody watched.
You bring a Fred Armisen in to do Bloomberg.
Did somebody say billionaire?
He's sipping on an extra large.
No, Mayor Bloomberg, how did you get in here?
Well, I tipped the doorman $30 million.
Does this mean you're officially running for president?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'd be hard to beat. I'd love to see those Trump supporters come up with a conspiracy theory about a Jewish billionaire with his own media company. Good luck making that stick.
Yeah, that's funny, except the anti-Semitism is on his side of the partisan divide. Unfortunately, maybe Bloomberg's going to find that out. I think he actually already has from Ilhan Omar, hasn't he? Right when it was rumored that he was getting in. The other billionaire on stage, Tom Steyer, a.k.a. Will Ferrell.
Hi, guys. I'm billionaire Tom Steyer, and I'm running for president for a simple reason. It's fun, and it gets me out of the house.
I'm sorry, Mr. Steyer. My producers are telling me you have to blink.
I have to do what?
Blink. You have to blink at some point.
Oh, no, I do not. And I will not.
Andrew Yang was good, too, but my favorite was Mayor Pete.
Mayor Pete, you're looking adorable tonight in your little suit.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's from my first communion.
You're polling at 0 with black voters. Any idea why?
Maybe just because of, this.
He thinks his whiteness.
You know, like I said, his electoral coalition is everybody from white to eggshell.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Maya Rudolph also back again to play Reparation H.
So awesome.
The Funt. Oh.
The Funt is back, baby. America's fun aunt. I'm also America's cool aunt. You know what? Let's not do that. Tonight, I'm not going to worry about the polling numbers. I'm just going to have fun and see if I can get some viral moments. Mama needs a GIF. Gonna tell my kids this was Michelle Obama.
And, of course, you had Kate McKinnon doing Warren. And she does a good Warren. I mean, I even find the impersonation of Warren off-putting and scolding, but it's pretty good.
Look, I know in past debates I've been accused of being overambitious, right? I got mom hosting Thanksgiving energy. I'm a little overwhelmed because I thought 10 people were coming and now there's 30 million. But I promise dinner will be ready if you just get out of the kitchen and stop asking questions. And of course, this Thanksgiving I'll be cooking my specialty, maybe don't say it, the food of my ancestors. Should I say it? I'm going to say maize.
It's pretty gentle parody, but nonetheless, I'm just happy that Fred Armisen and Maya Rudolph are back because they're really good. They're great impersonators. It's funny.
It's that time of year. 'Tis the season for giving, and we want to let you know if you're a business owner, make the marketing decisions for your company. We have a great way for you to get into radio, advertising on radio, I should say. We've teamed up with Food for the Poor once again. Our goal this year is to provide food for a year for 600 Venezuelan families who've left Venezuela, who are in Colombia now. And to be a business benefactor, it's a one-time donation of $2,500. It's tax deductible. The money goes to Food for the Poor. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 40 60-second commercials that will run Monday through Friday right here on AM 560. And if you want to become a business benefactor, call Ann Jeanette at 847-472-8951 or simply visit 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food. And do it sooner rather than later because this always sells out. Who are some business benefactors, Dan?
Yeah, we want to thank some of the benefactors so far. Elgin Eye Clinic, Bill Napleton Cadillac, healthinsurancementors.com, that's C.S. Tucker, Chris Jacobs and Associates with Century 21 Affiliated, Ron Wexler with Keller Williams Preferred Realty, 100 South Chop House in Elmhurst, and many more. But we thank those businesses who are supporting.
Hogentech Incorporated is another one, too. But, again, to be a business benefactor, call Ann Jeanette. Do it today. 847-472-8951. And we thank you in advance for your generosity. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no. What?
The Champagne Socialists in Lincoln Park have found that Francis Parker School isn't being so neighborly.
Oh.
At 8:38.
I can't wait to hear that story. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Some clouds, 37 degrees. Lawmakers home for Thanksgiving holiday. So the House wraps up their first public hearings in the Democrat-led impeachment inquiry of President Trump last week. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg running for president officially.
When New York suffered the terrible tragedy of 9/11, he took charge, becoming a 3-term mayor who brought a city back from the ashes and brought back jobs.
That's a campaign ad video that was released by Bloomberg. Storms are forecast across much of the country this week, promising to make travel difficult as millions take to the roads for Thanksgiving. Discount broker Charles Schwab finalizing a deal today to buy TD Ameritrade. It's a $26 billion deal. It will close in the second half of 2020. The corporate headquarters will be in Texas. High winds may ground the iconic balloons of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. A cold front forecast to move into the New York area this week. High winds could force authorities to keep balloons from flying. A person of interest is in custody in the death of a University of Illinois at Chicago student whose body was discovered in a campus parking garage over the weekend. A woman is dead after falling inside Water Tower Place in downtown Chicago. The 65-year-old, according to police, tumbled from the 7th floor of the shopping mall on Michigan Avenue. A group representing Illinois school boards has again rejected a resolution backing teachers and other school employees who want to carry guns in school. The Illinois Association of School Boards voted against the measure on Saturday during their convention. It's the second consecutive year that the group has rejected such a proposal offered by the majority. Much of the support for the measure came from rural districts that cannot hire school resource officers. Others, including in the Chicago public schools and some in the suburbs, argue it is a safety risk. Bears over the Giants, 19-14 at Soldier Field. Bulls take on the Blazers later on tonight. The news is service of Sylvania Automotive. It's headlight savings time again, which means the darkest nights of the year are here. And if you can't remember the last time you changed your headlights, it's time to switch to whiter, brighter Sylvania bulbs. Visit headlightsavingstime.com to find your perfect pair. 8:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher reacts to Bloomberg getting into the race.
Do you recognize how much trouble the Democrat Party is in even advancing this idea? If they think a 77-year-old former mayor of New York named Bloomberg is going to be their answer, holy cow, the party is in a mess.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results vary. Exclusions apply.
Contacts and glasses are such a hassle. I'd love to finally get LASIK, but
I'm going to stop you right there. If you want LASIK, then the LASIK Vision Institute has officially taken away everything standing in your way.
Isn't LASIK expensive?
Not at the LASIK Vision Institute. We're offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. See for free if LASIK is right for you by texting TOP to 350350.
But I'm really busy.
A text only takes seconds. The LASIK procedure typically only takes 15 minutes, and most patients can get back to work the following day. The LASIK Vision Institute uses the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision. Dr. Greenberg has performed 75,000 LASIK surgeries and is one of the most experienced LASIK surgeons in Chicago. And we're offering 20% off our already low-cost services.
What's that text again?
Text TOP to 350350. That's TOP to 350350 to schedule your free consultation today.
It's 8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Outbound Eisenhower traffic is heavy Austin to 25th, and it's very heavy North Avenue to Addison Road, where there is a collision and the right lane is blocked. It's 24 minutes to Manheim, but 57 from downtown to 390. Inbound 57 minutes, and it's 42 minutes from Manheim. Eden's 23 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 19. Kennedy, 44 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 32 from Montrose, but 42 in the express lane. Outbound 36 minutes to the airport. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 38 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 21. Tollways are lighter than usual. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds and sun will top out near 52 today, turning cloudy overnight with a low of 34. Clouds on the increase tomorrow, a little light rain by the afternoon, and a high of 46. Currently 38. Next news coming up at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
All right, it's that time of year again. Cold and snow here in Chicago, but it's going to be warm and sunny in Huatulco, Mexico. And folks, that is where we are going to be heading with Apple Vacations. And you're invited to come along with us. Mark your calendars. It is March 28th through April 4th, Saturday to Saturday. We'll be staying at the beautiful Secrets Huatulco Resort and Spa in Huatulco, Mexico. It's an all-inclusive resort located on the Cañejos Bay. Every room at the resort has an ocean view. You can take a shower, you can take a bath, and look at the ocean. It is a gorgeous hotel. 7 gourmet restaurants, 6 bars, unlimited premium drinks. And included is the breathtaking Sky Bar. Dan, I can't wait for you to see this place. We went there, I think about 5 years ago, and it still sticks with me. I've been back a couple of times. 24-hour room service. You can also enjoy the magnificent Secret Spa and treat yourself to a massage. And there's a state-of-the-art fitness center on site, which I'm sure you're going to be going to a lot, Dan. Get more information and book your trip by visiting 560theanswer.com/passport. Every year, this trip gets better and better. And we have couples that return every single year to vacation with us. So join us this year. And the price that Apple Vacations has secured for this trip is incredible and exclusive to us, but it's only available for a limited time. So do not wait. Enjoy a week in Huatulco, Mexico with us. 560theanswer.com/passport.
Well said, Amy. So Francis Parker. Francis Parker, this is an elite college prep school in Lincoln Park that has produced such artists as Daryl Hannah, Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals went to Francis Parker?
Oh, yeah.
And so did Francis Parker Spice Girl.
Yes, Ayanna Presley.
Ayanna Presley.
Not a great artist, just a political hack. David Mamet.
David Mamet went to Francis Parker?
True story.
Wow. Wow.
And,
Ended up in Iowa.
And this is a crown jewel of Lincoln Park and the city. But remember how I keep trying to tell you folks that Chicago is going the way of San Francisco, and so is Illinois? Champagne socialists and beneficiaries of transfer payments and not much in between. People otherwise insulated from terrible public policy. A high cost of living for not a very good quality as the city hollows out and the state hollows out. Remember I tell you that?
Yeah.
Some not poor condo owners in Lincoln Park are finding out the truth of what I've been saying. Francis Parker is looking to expand. And, they have the backing of people like, billionaire Joe Mansueto, Morningstar. He's got a $20 million spread in Lincoln Park.
Wow.
Yeah, they're landlocked there. Lincoln Park Zoo to the east, Clark Street to the west, Webster to the south. So how do you expand? You got to go north.
But what's north?
Condo buildings. So what do you got to do? You got to buy condo buildings. But the attempt to buy condo buildings outright has failed. So what Parker is doing with the backing of their well-heeled partners and parents is to buy individual condos and the condo voting rights that come with them. For example, in Jerry Savoy's building, Francis Parker, is playing real estate like they're playing Monopoly. They're really being bullies. I know that they are. Savoy said Parker controls 6 of the 15 condos in his building. It's 40% control. Controlling interest would require 85, but they're working on it. At a public meeting, a school representative had an accidental moment of candor. We bought those 2 units under the cover of night. Yeah, that's what Jerry Savoy is saying. They're not real ecstatic about it. So Parker owns the first and the third floor of this tier of the building, said the Jerry Savoy who lives there. And there's a new friction because of renters they're allowing in and so on and so forth. But these condo owners, again, these are upper middle income people, right? Condos in Lincoln Park, not cheap. In that part of Lincoln Park, not cheap, but not insulated either. When Francis Parker and their billionaire set come knocking.
Well, they're going to get what they want.
It's like having an intruder in your home that will not leave, said Daniel Morales, who lives in Belden by the park with his family. Condo associations have sent letters to the school asking that it stop attempts to buy homes. More than 600 neighbors have signed a petition to maintain residential zoning in the area around the school.
This is going to end in a fight.
They're not being very neighborly. Oh,
no.
Chicago values. What's Chicago values? Now, I don't begrudge Francis Parker from doing this. I mean, these are private transactions, and condo owners. I'm a condo owner and say that Belden building, and hey, I would decide I want to sell my unit to Francis Parker. It's my property. I can do whatever I want. But I just love the tension among all of these anti-capitalist capitalists, right? They don't preach what they practice. The principal there at Francis Parker said the acquisitions are part of long-term planning undertaken by many universities and schools, which sometimes creates friction with neighbors. Well, sure, because they know that the end is in sight. Again, this is a school that has about 940 students, junior kindergarten through high school, tuition ranging from $31,500 to $39,200 a year. The president of Parker's Board of Trustees is the wife of Joe Mansueto.
Oh.
Morningstar, billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to.
So what do you think there? What do you think about some champagne socialists in Lincoln Park? Probably not all, but some. Getting, in the crosshairs. You got to get out the way. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Just telling you where this is going. By the way, Francis Parker, despite producing the greatest American playwright living, David Mamet, I spoke at a student assembly there a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
With Bridget Gaynor, Cook County Commissioner. just to give you a sense of Francis Parker and how left it is. And so the Champagne Socialists cannibalizing the Champagne Socialists. The end of our presentation about various topic areas in advance of the 2016 election. A girl stands up before the student assembly is dismissed, and she reminds people about this upcoming dance, the proceeds from which...
Oh, God, go to what?
Planned Parenthood. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Planned Parenthood.
Well, everyone thought that, the funding would be yanked from it, so everyone scrambled to raise money for Planned Parenthood. My friend did that. She had a huge...
Sure. No, I mean, obviously people are very concerned, these wealthy people and their spawn, very concerned that black and brown people might have babies, so they want to fund Planned Parenthood, because they're racist.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
And they're humanists and they're ZPGers. They're all sorts of ghouls. All sorts of ghouls. 30 to 40 grand a year. Just like Yale isn't Bill Buckley's Yale anymore, Francis Parker isn't David Mamet's Francis Parker anymore either. Steve on the south side.
Hey, good morning. I got a laugh out of it when I found out where they're putting all these dope dispensaries. They're all on the south and west sides. Do these people have a dope dispensary near them?
No.
Good question. Maybe in the school. Thanks for the call, Steve. Maybe that'll be part of their expansion plans. To put a dispensary in there, maybe a video gaming room, video poker room for the kids so they can contribute to, fund the less fortunate CPS schools, which, by the way, after we spent weeks hearing the teachers union pre-strike, during the strike, post-strike talk about overcrowding, what's the first news story out after Lori Lightfoot wrote a bigger blank check? 6% decline in enrollment in CPS. Overcrowding's the issue, though. Yeah. Oh, speaking of med marijuana, not med, just marijuana dispensaries.
Yeah.
Glencoe, after a pitched battle, by the way, the Glencoe Village Board has voted unanimously to direct staff to prepare an ordinance prohibiting recreational cannabis sales in Glencoe. The windmills and the solar farms and the game rooms and the marijuana dispensaries, that's not for where the Champagne Socialists live. That's just something Champagne Socialists support to keep, the hoi polloi otherwise occupied, so they don't pay attention to getting pushed out of their own city, becoming dependents on a plantation, or otherwise being marginalized. Yeah. No dispensary in Glencoe. Oh, goody. Good for them. We're not going to preach, though, what we practice. So redeeming. Mark, downtown, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, hello, Dan and Amy. Good seeing you at Freedom Fest a couple weeks ago. Hey, I wanted to point out Daryl Hannah went to Francis Parker, and I think a number of the Pritzkers went there too. So what do you make of that?
That's correct. I did. I can make a brooch. I can make a pterodactyl. Daryl Hannah did go to Parker. I mentioned that. I think I mentioned Anne Heche as well.
Oh, no, you didn't mention
I didn't mention Anne Heche. Oh, Jennifer Beals.
Jennifer Beals.
Flashdance. Splash and Flashdance.
Oh, that's right. She was...
Yeah.
She worked that chair, man, huh?
Didn't age well. Let's see.
Well, it'll happen to you, Dad.
No.
Be careful.
No. Billy Zane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Not a
he
Billy
was
Zane
in Titanic.
Sure he was. Ralph and Rantoul.
Hey, Dan, talking about the dope dispensaries and the dopification of everybody everywhere at all times. Hey, when is Highland Park getting their first dope dispensary?
Yeah.
Got any news on that?
Yeah, I'll have to check with their village elders. Thanks for the call, Ralph. Yeah, they don't really like to lead by example. They don't really want the consequences of the public policies they support being visited upon them. They're not so into that, I find. I don't know if you find that. I guess just a cursory look around would tell you. Yeah. So Glencoe is going to be dope-free. I mean, at least as it pertains to cannabis. I wouldn't say it's dope-free in the sense of intellectual heft. But Lincoln Park, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Park on the chopping block. They're not going to come for me. because I have Chicago values. They're not going to come for me because I'm some, mid to upper level professional. Because I've spent a life in the city, because I've done this and I've done that. They won't come for me. Better together. Hashtag Lori Lightfoot campaign slogan. Yeah.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
This is attorney Stephen Leahy, host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here on AM 560 every Sunday evening at 5 o'clock. Let me tell you about Bill. Bill's business slowed down and he fell behind on his taxes. Instead of filing his tax return, he decided to wait until he could pay. Well, 1 year turned to 2, turned to 3. Then the IRS threatened to contact his customers, take his house, his bank account, and his passport. Well, Bill hired me. We filed all of his tax returns and an appeal to slow the IRS down. Then we worked out an installment agreement based on how much he could pay, not on how much he owed. Now Bill can rely on the IRS protection plan. We will file his future tax returns and keep the IRS off his back so Bill can focus on growing his business. If you have questions about the IRS, you can get a copy of my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today, to learn the secrets of solving your IRS problem and save your business, your marriage, and your reputation. Call 312-664-6649 or go to freeirsbook.com.
Also attending Francis Parker, it was mentioned Pritzker's. Yeah, Pritzker, our anti-school choice governor, sends his kids to Francis Parker. So does Kelly Cassidy, another teachers union hack legislator. It's just like Elizabeth Warren, who denied sending her son to a private school, even though her campaign had to later admit that Alex Warren did, in fact, attend a private school. Again, we don't preach what we practice. Ah, yes, the values of the affluent, the Chicago values, if you will.
I have an exclusive offer for our listeners just in time for the holidays. If you buy a set of Giza cotton sheets from MyPillow, you'll get the second set absolutely free. 2 for the price of 1. Not only that, but you'll get free shipping. And if you add anything else to your order, like a MyPillow, a mattress topper, or their brand new towels, anything, those items will ship for free too. And you can get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, but you have to use the promo code AMY, A-M-Y. All products have a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Made in America. Mike Lindell, the CEO, paying it forward this holiday season with deep discounts and 2 sets of Giza cotton sheets for the price of 1. That's a great deal. 2 for 1. Plus free shipping. Go to MyPillow.com, type in Amy in the promo code, or call 800-489-0201 and tell them Amy sent you.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I have to say, I'm a very active person. I have my own business and I run around all the time. And I actually work out. I lift weights. And I started taking the Balance of Nature in the beginning, and it was an amazing thing. It's helped me with everything. I used to say, I don't feel old, but I don't feel young anymore. But since taking the Balance of Nature, I have to say I'm starting to feel young again.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. From now until the end of the week, Balance of Nature is offering 35% off and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. This special is ending between now and Black Friday weekend, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Oh, wow!
It can't be. Oh, yes, yes, yes!
Oh, where have you been? If you snore, the first time you use Mute can be quite an experience.
I can breathe! I can breathe!
Snoring can happen when your nose is blocked, forcing you to breathe through your mouth. Mute is a comfortable nasal breathing device designed to increase airflow through the nose by gently opening the airways. Thanks to Mute, you get all the air you need through your nose and not your mouth, which means less snoring and more chance of sleep.
Oh, that's the best night I've had in years.
In trials, 75% of couples reported a reduction in snoring when using Mute. Available at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and other fine stores. To find your local store or for more information, go to mutesnoring.com. Mute. Breathe more, snore less, sleep better.
The Illinois Family Institute believes in the good people of Illinois. We're their voice in Springfield, and we keep them informed about what's happening in government, local school districts, and in our culture. And yes, we know there are a lot of problems with Illinois. Taxes are too high, indoctrination going on in our government schools. Many of our elected officials think commercialized marijuana, more gambling, and taxpayer funding of abortion will solve our state's problems. The Illinois Family Institute is here to stand for the people of Illinois and the common sense values that we share. We have some great resources for folks who would like to make a difference. I'm Dave Smith with Illinois Family Institute. If you want to be part of the solution, please give us a call and visit our website, 708-781-9328 or illinoisfamily.org. illinoisfamily.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy were talking about Francis Parker and those poor upper crust condo owners that are being targeted for removal so that Francis Parker may expand its footprint. David in Evanston, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan.
Morning.
And Amy.
Morning.
Hello.
I didn't know if you had heard this wonderful news. I'm in Evanston, the People's Republic of Evanston.
Yeah.
And month before last, our good city council voted 9-0 to direct staff to move forward with a plan for racial reparations at the city level because they were tired of waiting for the state and the federal government to act. So think about this.
Very forward.
You've got a neighborhood with a black family, a Hispanic family, and pick whatever other ethnicity you want that are all in the same financial circumstances. And one of them's going to get, they're talking about tax rebates, they're talking about doing home remodeling. Can you think of a better way to foment divisiveness and cause resentment among neighbors in a community?
No, that's a pretty good one. I agree with you, David. That's a pretty good way to do it. And there's going to be no requirement to have any lineage to slavery or anything like that. It's just going to be by the color of your skin, you will be entitled to reparations or not.
The devil's in the details, Dan. That's how they're going to have to figure out who's black.
I can't wait to see how that impacts, if it were actually to advance, how needing a pool of money like that will impact the tax burden for Evanston denizens. I'm sure you're considering that as well.
Well, actually, Dan, we're retiring the first part of the year, and we're putting the house up. We're leaving, and taxes is probably the single biggest reason.
That's even a better consideration. Thanks for the call, David. I didn't know about that with reparations. That's good to know. Now, taxes being the biggest reason, it's funny because I just debated Oak Park River Forest socialist named Ralph Martiri at Union Club last week, and he said that nobody's leaving because of taxes.
Oh, really? That's the only reason why I want to leave.
People don't make decisions based on taxes.
Are you there? I have 2 senior citizens who've moved out of our neighborhood because of taxes.
I'm just
and
telling
the
you,
senior exemptions was not enough, so they couldn't afford their taxes.
I'm just reporting what Ralph Martiri said, and he said they're liars. So they're lying to themselves, to you, to everybody, as David is, to everybody who makes a decision, any decision, based on taxes other than to celebrate the opportunity to pay more is lying to you. That's what I understand from the left, and that will be a position that Governor Jelly Belly will put about, $20, $30, $50 million behind over the next year in support of graduating the state's income tax, so look for that.
Quickly, we want to remind you about giving this holiday season, helping those less fortunate than ourselves. We'd like you to donate to Food for the Poor. We're trying to raise money to feed 600 Venezuelan families who are now living in Colombia. They took the 9-hour journey just so that they could have food, so that they could survive. One-time donation of $300. That's just $25 a month, or really anything that you can donate would be much appreciated. Phone number is 844-862-HOPE, 844-862-4673, or go to 560theanswer.com and search for the keyword food. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks to Justin Kosick, our technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, who is?
He is the Director of Real Estate Acquisitions at Francis Parker School in Lincoln Park. So you got any problems with Francis Parker turning the screws on you, you just bring that up with Quinn McCarthy.
Okay. And also real quickly, too, if you want to become a business benefactor, let me just squeeze this in here real quick. $2,500 tax deductible All the money goes to Food for the Poor. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 40 60-second commercials that will air Monday through Friday right here from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. on AM 560 The Answer. It's really the best way to take your business to the next level. Call Ann Jeanette, our sales manager, at 847-472-8951. Again, 847-472-8951, and ask about the Business Benefactor Program. Now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
There is a person in custody in connection with the death of a UIC student. Chicago woman charged in a murder-for-hire plot. A woman falls to her death inside Water Tower Place. And Illinois pork is recalled due to an inspection failure. WIND Chicago News Time is 9 o'clock.
Will House Democrats win in court?